Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream. Today is the 8th of October 2024, 4 minutes past 3 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator for our second ever look at the iFly 737 MAX from Flight 1. We had a great time on Saturday morning when I got early access. I don't think it's quite out yet as well. I have been told I can tell you what price it is. It's going to be $70 US, about 50 quid, which I think is very reasonable for the quality of aircraft you're going. We've got a fun sector today. Here we are in Poland, live time, live weather. We're in Wroclaw. Might or might not have flown out of here before, but we're going to be flying southwest towards Salzburg in Austria. Flight time around 55 minutes. Hopefully we'll do some sort of non-precision approach, if not the ILS, or a circle, depending on the weather, and then we're going to do a quick turnaround, head back here to Wroclaw and try an RMP approach. I had a little go on a test sector earlier. I didn't do the full 2 sectors. Aircraft worked very well. A few little quirks and bugs which we discovered last stream, which are still apparent as well. This has been one small update to the aircraft since we last flew it. Go-arounds aren't working very well, I'm afraid to inform. I know push toga, the window was open, and the flap retraction didn't accelerate the aircraft properly, so it's something I'd like to feed back to the devs, but otherwise they were the only things I could find in about 3 hours playing around it. It's a really solid platform. I can't wait for this to be released so you guys can try it out. Who we got here in chat? We've got Diogo. Holla, hope all is going well. Very well. Thank you very much for popping in. I've just got back from the dentist actually. I'm pleased to announce I have pearly whites. They're all clean and they've been scrubbed and no horrible rotting or any sorts. So I'm pleased to announce. Maximilian says it's a bit expensive but still worth it. I think £50 is a fair price for the quality. It's sort of when it's pushing above 70 you expect perfection, but no, I'd expect it to be around that. I think that's pretty good. Brendan, hope you're well. Wonder what he does during the countdown for the stream start. Maybe practices his opening line not to screw it up. Brilliant. No, I just look down at my beautiful baby dog who's just laying there watching my stream. Basically stroking him is what I do prior to the start of stream. Should be pleased to know. Let me just, oh, there's my fat belly. Let's put your cam back there. That's what I do, Brendan. Wuxian, thank you very much. 23 months as a member. This one looks fantastic. I'm legitimately salivating for the MAX. Brilliant. That's great to hear. Aaron, hope you're doing well. Great to see you here as well. I'm sorry that you missed the last one as well. Bobby, not expensive at all. No, I think it's very reasonable priced. But yeah, here we are. Here's Wroclaw. We've got this lovely scenery here from Fly Too High. It's I think it's on discount now, about €7, but it's really, really cheap. But this is an airport served by, I think, Ryanair and Buzz and a few others as well. But yeah, it looks very nice. You can see at the front here, nice modern glass terminal. We'll go in through the departures here. It's a nicely modelled departures hall. But yeah, it's really, really good. I've done some tweaking with my Microsoft Flight Sim settings. I've managed to boost my FPS. How smoky smooth does this look? I followed a YouTube video and played with my NVIDIA settings, so hopefully I've improved performance slightly. It seems to be much better for me here. But there we are. We're flying as LOT today. I forgot to mention that. We wait patiently for Alpaca Airways to receive its first MAX. Meanwhile, I have to use the supply deliveries with the add-on. So LOT is our call sign today. Our first sector is going to be LOT 1 Sierra Zulu and 2 Whiskey Romeo on the way back to Wroclaw, which will probably be a night flight of some sorts as well. Don't try and get me to mispronounce. Am I mispronouncing Wroclaw? Probably am. I'll try my best not to mispronounce that at all. Perfect. So as I zoom on in towards the aircraft like this, boof, there we are. There's those lovely big 4 screens that we know all about with the MAX there. Nick T, not doing Cancun. No, there's a hurricane there at the moment, so I did consider doing that, maybe on Friday, but when I'm going to plan my next stream, we'll look at that horrible hurricane going off in eastern Mexico and Florida. I think it's forecast to hit too. Right. Let's get the show on the road then. We're just following standard SOPs today. If there's an interesting approach to fly, I'll try and fly it. At the moment, we're expecting ILS in Salzburg. Great scenery we've got there as well with the Microsoft Flight Sim SimWorld Update 18. But we'll have to see what the weather's doing when we get there. Right, let's pop the battery on. GPU, we can pop on the bus. And it sounds very quiet. Let me just have a little play here with my settings. There we are. So battery on. GPU's on the bus, pop on the electric hydraulic pumps, landing gear lever is down, we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 green lights. Oh yes, look at this FPS, wonderful. So that's all done. Let's do the fault and fire test. So down here for the squibs. Perfect. Fault detector in op, and there's the fire warning test going off. We've got the overheat light bell. I saw the light illuminate. I'll just do it again quickly just to make sure we've got the correct indications. We should have wheel well as well. Oh, what's happened to the click spot? There we are, yeah, wheel well, right. wheel well light is illuminated. There's the bell cut out. Perfect. Pop on the emergency exit lights. For the first of a time on a stream, we're going to tanker today. Who here in chat knows what fuel tankering is? I've already pre-fueled, so I'll pop on the seatbelt sign. Did a bit of calculations. So the idea is that the fuel in Salzburg in Austria is very expensive, but it's cheaper here in Poland. So we work out a tankering sector. Usually operations would work out the additional fuel required, but there's a way of working it out for both sectors. So yes, you've got it, guys. It's taking cheaper fuel with you, exactly, when you take extra fuel when cheaper. And it's also, you might take it where, let's say, fuel isn't available at your destination. You might have to round trip, which is quite challenging unless it's a short sector within an hour if you've got a full load of passengers. But just to show you what I've planned, if I bring up SimBrief. Now, how it works is, I've only got one flight plan to show you, unfortunately, because I think you can only show one at a time. But you'll see here, tankering fuel, I've taken an extra 3 tons. The way I've worked this out is, you take your trip and taxi for this sector, which is 2377, and then you add that on to the block fuel from your next sector. So the next sector minimum block fuel was 4,900 kilos. So if I add up 4,900, which is the fuel I require for the next sector, so 4,900 plus 2,377, that is, oh, my calculator's broken. I can't do that, mental maths is too hard. It's 7.3 tons. Now, I've added a little bit more because you have to take into account the additional weight, and there is a calculation. For example, you take 2.5% of the extra fuel you've taken, times that by your flight time, and that will come into your additional fuel burn. It's about 100 kilos. So taking that into account, the fuel burn from carrying an extra 3 tons, which is not always included in the flight plan, add that on top, and that should be enough fuel, block fuel, for your return sector. That's based off, you know, not going off your planned flight plan. If you end up holding or flying a different approach or different routing on your flight plan, you'll probably end up having to refuel a little bit, but hopefully the way I've worked it out, we can round trip today. Perfect, so that's done. I've pre-fueled already using the EFB, so I'll just pop the seatbelt sign on. What else do I need to do up here? Yeah, press the 10 button to test that it's working. Do a quick config check. There we are, that's all working nicely. Parking brake is set, stab trim normal, flaps are up, which match the indicated position. Cargo fire test. Oops. Forward aft, discharge, fire belt, 2 fire warning lights. We only do this on the first flight of the day. Stab trim cutout switch is normal. Gear extension door is closed and locked. Just check the circuit breakers behind Jim. This is really useful because at the end of the week I'm doing some sim sessions for max conversion training for guys who finished their type ratings on the NG. So, you know, this is really good familiarity, and I'm going to hopefully do a couple of videos for you as well. RS to nav, alignment's going to take, seems to always be 10 minutes. In reality, your latitude should take into account your RS alignment. It was 10 minutes last stream as well, 10 minutes here as well. Jim's got his shirt off, I've got my jacket off, and we've completed the safety inspection checklist. Jay, have you flown this route in real life? No, but I might not have been to one of these airports. But Salzburg, where we're flying into, we use a lot during training because we do all the terrain escape training there. There's also some tricky special engine out departures if there's an engine failure towards terrain, which we train as well. So I'm used to the airport. Nico, how would it look in low temp situations? Great question here. The risk of cold soak fuel frost being out of limits is a bit bigger when you arrive at more than 4 tons. Is that something you keep in mind when tankering? Absolutely, Nico. So when you tanker fuel, guys, on the 737, if you land with more than 4 tons, the fuel is hitting the top of the wing. So if it's very humid and very cold, and the wing's obviously cold after a flight, you get ice forming on top of the wing. So this needs to be removed, or it can stay within this black box here. It's the cold soak fuel frost box. Ikri, thank you very much, my man from Malta. That's very kind, sir. Thank you.
Clearly you know your way around the max, so we can settle for you fumbling around the linguistically challenging Polish names. LOL. D hope all is well, buddy.
Thank you very much, Ikri. It's very kind of you. Yes, I'm going to make like I say, the call sign at least lot, but that's very kind, generous donation of you from you, Ikri 0002. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, cold soak fuel frost. it can form, and we can dispatch so long as it's within this black box. And we have something called cold soak fuel frost relief. So long as the temperature is above 4, there's no precipitation, the fuel temperature is above -16. I've not looked at it since last winter, so I need to refresh. You can dispatch if it's, as long as it's within the black lines of this black lines of this box. So yes, that's something we can discuss in the future. But in the summer, and the temperature in Salzburg today, with it being dry, the risk of or the likelihood that any fuel on top of the wing would unfreeze is quite high. So the temperature is 25 degrees in Salzburg, so it's not an issue really. But you can get cold soak fuel frost as low as anything below 15 degrees Celsius. So yeah, there we are. Great, Nico. Fantastic question. One I will cover, I think, again in the winter, maybe via a tutorial. Right, seatbelts on. We did the preliminary flight deck inspection. Right. Last stream I pressed the B button, it didn't update the correct Q&H, so I'll just press B now. Yes, it is 1004 in Wroclaw, so that's set. We can press traffic on the two NDs here, and we can set the MFRA. I did a comparison between the OPT provided by iFly and the real-world max OPT we have on our iPads. You'll be pleased to know it was identical, from everything from the trim to the thrust setting. Having a play around with it, some of the people who have beta as well have found there can sometimes be discrepancies. We did have a discrepancy last stream, but in certain situations it does seem to match quite well. But the MFRA will be 1406, which is 1,000 feet above aerodrome level. This is the height at which we accelerate in the event of an engine failure. If you are new to the stream, you might not be so familiar. It's a bit fiddly getting it set though in the add-on. There we are, 1406. Set up all the lighting, rudder trim, oxygen tests you do over here. Oh, that's an excellent realistic oxygen test. That's where you plug in your iPad, that's where you put your coffee, check the documentation, and now we can load the FMC. So FMC, ident, latest ARAC installed. We are in Wroclaw, which is Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo, and GPS left coordinates be inserted here, and we can sync the route via SimBrief. I've already filed it there online. You set the MFRA as a radio. Oh yeah! Why is the radio altimeter down here? That must be a Boeing option. That must be a Boeing option, because we have the radio altimeter set up here on the dial. I need to... well, I have it as a dial. That's so weird. How bizarre. I've never seen... that must be an option from Boeing, because the radio altimeter on our operator appears on the dial as opposed to there. So that's why I didn't even notice it was radio altimeter. That's a strange one. Right, 1406 I think I said. 1406. That's now Barrow, which is how it should be. Let's load up the route. We're departing from runway 11 here. The wind favours this runway. And our call sign Lot 1 Sierra Zulu. No events at any of the airports today. I did look, it's very sparse with some events today. Runway 11, we're expecting an Ulgil to Alpha. There we are. And arrivals, it will be a Badit to Romeo, ILS 15, possibly a circle. It will be via the Salzburg transition. Activate, execute, check for any discontinuities. There are none. Let's now do the performance. So I've loaded this, that's correct. So you can see here 61.7 is the zero fuel weight. We've got 61.6. It's based off a full load of passengers and a little bit of stuff in the cargo hold. You can see I've pre-fueled it, and preloaded, and the fuel's been pre-fueled to 7.6 to allow for that tankering sector. So that's done. Cruise wind and reserves. Our alternate is it Linz in Austria? Lina November Zulu? Not sure about that one, but we need only 2 tons to get there. The aircraft only sips fuel, but you can see, look at that already for our tankering sector. We're arriving with 5.5 tons, which should be sufficient for the return. Right, let's look at the performance. Actually, no, I didn't finish loading up the... there should be here, not the takeoff page. It should say init. I don't know why that's missing. Cruise, average wind, top of climb wind, we'll just put in 227 at 44. It's close enough for the average as well. Top of climb ISA is 5 degrees. Okay, so we'll punch in all the data from the... so we've completed that. Let's do the performance. So takeoff performance, so Echo Papa Whiskey Romeo. Unfortunately, the keyboard doesn't come alive, so I have to type it in manually. Search. Runway 11. There's no intersection option available. We'll go dry. Surface wind is 170 at 10. Now I need to find out from the devs because when you put this in knots, it does say meters per second. So I don't know if it's anything to do with where the aircraft was developed. They built it in China. I don't know, but it's showing meters per second. But I'm going to pretend it's knots. Temperature is 21 degrees, so it's nice and warm here in Wroclaw. Nice day. QNH 1004. We'll go for what the real world OPT says. It's giving me full length, but on plan fire Charlie, it's giving me TO full with no assumed temperature. Oh no, it is assumed temperature of 34 degrees. We'll put max. Flap 5, air conditioning on, anti-ice off. Calculate. Oh yeah, very good. So just to show you here, this is what the OPT here says, guys. Sorry, Navigraph. This is what the OPT says here in real life. Takeoff gross weight 69,222. 5.6 units of trim, 35 degrees, 87.3. Would you like to see what the real OPT says with the exact same data, albeit from Charlie intersection? Have a look at this. It's exactly the same. All right, nothing to give away my operation. No, there you go. Look at that. Look at the speeds. The speeds are 1 knot off. The trim. Okay, the trim based off the CG of 21.4. Alright, we've got 21.5, it's slightly different. 5.75 units, 5.60. That's phenomenal. And the thrust rating is RTO, so full takeoff thrust. Assumed temperature 34. The other OPT says 30, 35. So it's almost identical to the real one. Very, very impressed with that. So whatever you're getting here in the box is certainly accurate enough for desktop simulation. So we'll put the thrust in from there. TO. The M1 was... Oh, no, there was something wrong, though. Just to show you here is the M1. Look, M1 here, 87.3. This is saying 90.1, look. So the only thing that's off, or it seems to vary, is the thrust. But we'll just go off this one here. 40, 41, 50, thrust 35. TO full, 35 degrees. 88.8, 87.3. That makes sense with that. Well, no, it's still 1.5 off. So slight differences with the M1, but it's okay. Takeoff flap 5, CG in. Oh yeah, you hear that trim wheel? It's a lovely little setting they've got. If you put the CG in, there's a setting in the options, albeit not realistic, automatically sets the trim for you. Alright, when you put 5.6. I like shortcuts like that in desktop simulators. Speeds are set. In our FMC, we have the speeds listed here. The predicted ones which you line select key, they don't seem to appear on that FMC, but nonetheless you can preset them. And 150 will set as V2. Marcus, does the max have a higher max landing weight? 61.7 would be problematic in the NG, right? Yes, we are currently planned to be above the max landing weight for the NG, but this does have the max, believe it or not, a higher landing weight. So this is actually, I updated all these figures as per my operator. So our maxes, our maximum takeoff weight is 76.2 tons, and the max landing weight for us is 68,175 off the top of my head. So yeah, you can see we're still over a ton below the max landing weight for the max, but yeah, above what would be normal in the NG. Right, let's do a panel scan here. Oh no, I forgot to start boarding. Oh no, that hopefully won't take too long.
Requested.
Let's use LOT, seeing we're flying as LOT. Right, yaw dampers on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto, fuel, 4 pumps on. We still have no fuel in the centre tank, 0. That went bright, dim, bright, off. It's much quicker than the real CrossFit valve, so hopefully they'll slow that down with an update. I'm really nitpicking here, guys. It's still a bloody good add-on. Window heat's on, probes off. Trim air's on, Pax auto. Cruising at 30,000 feet, and the elevation in Salzburg, I think it's 1400 off the top of my head. Yeah, 1411, so we'll set 1400 feet here. Good. Move that to steady. Courses for our runway. I've noticed that every time you restart the aircraft, it resets the heading and courses to all zeros. In the real aircraft, I think it has like a memory. Well, it has a memory, Oh yeah, this is really cool added feature with GSX. You can attach the tug now, which saves time for pushback, which is great. So 111, it's an RNAV super flying, so we'll just set the heading courses to the runway QDM. There we are, 111. There's no ATC. Stop climb is flight level 90. So this is a lovely feature. You can get the pushback attached now prior to the passengers boarding. And here comes the dispatcher. I've got a GSX profile for the scenery, so all the passengers properly come down here. They don't use the air bridge on this stand. They actually walk to the aircraft with certain operators. So that's set. Flight director's on. Auto brake to RTO. Legs, Jim, your side. Trim set. Radio tuning panel. And also resets as well. We might as well just tune the VOR on the airfield, which is 11165. There we are, 11165. 11165, perfect. And yeah, we'll leave the VOR set to that. So we've got something set. 2000. Standby. Perfect. That's all set. In reality, the ground crew don't communicate when they're attaching the tug, they just do it down there. They just install the pin and put the tow bar on. Radio tuning panel's all set as well. We've pretty much done free flight as well. JKMAX, no reset fuel necessary. What's that in reference to? I'm not sure there, buddy. Gary Gang, watching this whilst my wife is in labour. Oh, Gary Gang, fantastic news. But it's okay, she loves Flight Deck Sim 2. Thanks for the stream, Gary Gang. I'm sure everyone here wishes you, well, most importantly, your wife, well, how do I say this? I don't know. I hope everything goes very well, and your baby will be our next Flight Deck Sim fan. Thank you very much for coming in here whilst your wife's in labour. Yes, the seat moves. There's lots of neat features here. So you can press this to slide your seat back and forth. Is exactly the lever you use as well, which is very good. I don't know if there's any other seat features. Oh yes, you can move the armrests as well. They don't move in unison like that, but it's a lovely little touch there. Nico, thanks for your support, buddy. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for joining as a member. Enjoy using the custom emojis in chat and the members only Discord. Thank you very much. Here come all our Austrian or Polish passengers. I don't know which way they'd be, but you can see there all boarding and staring in here, looking what we're up to. She's got a strut around herself. She'll be on the slope. Actually, no, it won't be any snow yet, would there? I was going to say she'll be on the slopes in the morning, but there we are. Oh, JK Mouse, does a fuel flow reset? Yes, there is a fuel flow reset. Yes, I should have moved that switch to reset. Perfect. So let's do a little briefing as per the operator's SOP. So Jim's come back from his walk around. We briefed the threats coming out of here, but from Wroclaw there isn't much to say for departure. It's NADP1 here, the pushback straight back as well, and then we just turn to taxi. Apart from that, it's a lovely airport to fly into and out of, not many threats there. We check the routing's all correct, so we'll just do a quick gross error check with that. We'll bring up the flight plan, hide this, flights, view sim brief OFP. The ground distance here we do as a gross error check 292 after checking all the waypoints. If we go here to progress, you can see it says 290, so within 2 miles. That's great. We've executed the route. We do a cross check of our instrumentation, QNH, MFRA, altimeter, and the standby instruments are set. A briefing of departure, so we're taking off from runway 11, it's NADP1, flat 5, right turn after departure. Any problems with the engines or if I have an engine failure during the climb out, form a deviation point, we'll climb straight ahead to hold or get vectors. MSA in that sector to the east is 2,800. Emergencies we then discuss. Taxi briefing we can do now. We're going to push back here, facing to... Oh no, sorry, there's the pushback here, as I just mentioned, is a straight pushback here. So it'll be literally in the direction we're facing. Short taxi left via Charlie, and we can take the Charlie intersection. No need to backtrack here. And the SID we're flying is the Ulgil 2 Alpha. It's an RNAV SID, RNAV approval required. As soon as possible, contact Poznan approach after departure. There's some terrain to the south, but we're not getting near there. And basically, we're just going to do a right turn, 180 degrees, climbing on these waypoints, which we'll just check against the FMC. So we've got Whiskey Romeo 801, max speed 220 knots. Why is that showing 210? Whiskey Romeo 801. Oh, interesting. 210, it doesn't have the speed restriction coded, but it is going to be 205. 821, is coded correctly, 220 knots, flight level 90, that's the stop level initially, which is set on the MCP. 822, Obovi, 832, and then Ilgil. So it's all coded correctly and appropriately. There we go. So we've briefed everything. We then complete the checklist, which we'll imagine is done. And as soon as the last few passengers are boarded, we can commence our pushback. I'll get the APU started. Doing very well for time. We're due off now at 14:30 Zulu, but probably be about a couple minutes late. Who else we got here in chat today? Cat Sitter did a fresh install of Windows because I have had frame rate issues with Explain 11. After fresh installation, the frame rate issues went away, but a bunch of other issues came up. Oh dear, well I hope you resolve your issues. Have a good look on YouTube, lots of fixes there. Hans, is the RAS 100% modelled? Do you also get a feet remaining when landing takeoff? Hans, I don't know how detailed the modelling is. It's certainly got RAS. Whether it has every sort of bell and whistle as per the real RAS, I don't know. One thing I did learn last stream is I commented how RAS wasn't appearing on the ND. Ours it does, the information displayed from RAS, but someone commented that they have the Max, they don't have that as an option, so it's only the oral warning. So I was like, oh, so I do take that back if I said, oh, that's missing. It seems to be an option from Boeing. If you want RAS, you don't need to have the textual display on the ND. Perfect. PlaneSpotter thinks it's about time I joined along with the E195. Well, feel free to join in on VATSIM or on the next sector. It's completely up to you. One thing I really miss from the NG is they got rid of the APU gauge, so you don't actually know if the APU's starting if you miss the low oil pressure light. But it has started. APU's on the bus. We wait 2 minutes to turn the APU bleed on to let things warm up. We should then be ready for pushback, and it looks like, did I open the doors before the stream? I don't know, they might have gone through the closed door. Oh yes, I've just seen the last passenger get on through the closed door. Whoops. Hopefully in time there'll be better GSX integration to allow the doors and things to open. Joshua, is there any particular reason they took away the APU EGT lights? Not that I know. There is an additional light with door and overspeed. So that's if the door fails in some sort of way. The APU inlet door is a little bit different in how it's designed in comparison to the NG. So it opens like this. In flight, it doesn't open quite as much. And it's all about airflow. The tail cone's been completely redesigned as opposed to the NG as well, which apparently saves about 1% on the fuel burn. So, but as you saw last stream and as I demonstrated, the fuel burn on this in comparison to the NG is so much. It's so much low. I mean, not like so much, but it's about 10%. It's incredible, really. Awesome. Welcome aboard to Alpha Mike. Thank you very much for subscribing. Right, we'll just check if there's any ATC. I don't think there is. There isn't. So we're ready for push and start now. So we'll take off the packs. APU bleed can come on. Dual bleed. Anti-collision light on. And we'll get ready to release the parking brake. I just need here... I didn't do takeoff dispatch performance. Do bear with me. Show landing. Yes. Now, in Salzburg, because of the terrain, you want to make sure you can dispatch safely, because the missed approach climb gradient is... oh, why is there so many airports? Except... there's Salzburg, there it is. They have very high missed approach climb gradients, so you need to ensure in the event of an engine failure that you can dispatch safely. So I'll just put the information here and here. 0-25 degrees is the temperature. We do this every single departure. It seldom is an issue performance-wise, but if the runway is contaminated, you really want to check prior to departure that you can dispatch. If you can't, you can still dispatch, but you just need 2 alternates, and you take fuel for the furthest. So we'll plan for flap 40. At my operator, we say no reverse thrust credit, but it doesn't look like you can select it. Brakes, we've always got filter brake max. View of addition, we actually use 5 if we're flight 30. Calculate. There you go. So we can land up to 76 tons, which is the max landing weight, so not an issue for departure. Max. Oh no, that's the maximum certified weight for the. No, it was 69.308. Is that the limiting weight? We're below it. Yeah, that's actually quite low. What's our actual landing weight going to be? Excuse me. I'm trying to do everything properly today for everyone's benefit. 66.9. Okay, we are, and this is above the max landing weight anyway, so it's not an issue. Cool. Let's now commence the pushback, and with better pushback all there, it shouldn't take long at all. It's all connected. So stairs will be retracted. Straight pushback with the GSX profile.
Release parking brakes, please.
Actually, I would have scared the ground crew because the anti-collision light's on flashing already. It's already telling me to release the parking brake. Oh, I've still got stairs attached.
Release parking brakes,
There we
please.
are. Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
Excellent.
Start at will.
So with the Max, we start the engines as soon as possible because of the bowed rotor motoring. It takes so long. So there we are. Starting engine number 2. And the ground crew are aware now how long it takes. When the engines are cold like they are now, it doesn't take as long, but when they're hot after a turnaround, it can take up to sort of a minute and a half, 2 minutes before BRM's complete. You forgot the GPU? Hopefully it's disconnected automatically. Yes, hopefully. So we have N2 motoring, N1, oil pressure. Once BRM's complete, motoring disappears. I will stay inside for the first engine start because the sounds are resplendent. Right, fuel on. There we are. Can just about hear it. I've got my... How does that... The sounds are very quiet today. Oh, the sounds of the cabin are excellent. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to my sim sounds. They've gone really quiet. I've had this before and I can't remember what I did to fix them, and it sort of doubled the volume. Perfect. Parking brake is set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
That's when you know the leap's finished starting, you get that high pitch noise. So starter cut out, monitoring engine number 2, 2573. 2 stable. Starting engine number 1. Yeah, sounds are fine here. Yeah, I think so. Are you people doing the return sector? Yes, we are. Yeah, Marget 2 Canard, the motoring seems fast. Yeah, it's fast. This is the normal speed if the engines are cold, but when they've been running all day and you're doing a turnaround, it can take a long time. I've seen it take up to 2.5 minutes once. Perfect. Sean, thank you very much. 24 months as a member. Are all of the annunciation lights in the 737 testable by pressing them, or is it just the overhead? Saw you clicking the ones on the top. They should all be testable. Great question, thank you. So if you push any of them, you should be able to see if the bulb works. There you go, look. Huh. Excellent. I didn't even realise it worked. No, they don't illuminate. But yeah, that's how you check if the bulbs are working. You just push any of them. But they seem to have modelled that very well. Awesome. For the Martin, for the NG, it's 2463. For the Max, 2573.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Excellent sounds. So good. Hans, do you fly into Schiphol often? No, I've not flown into Schiphol ever. I'd like to, but not had the opportunity of being rostered there yet. Awesome. So we'll wait for the ground crew to clear from the aircraft, and then we'll start before taxi flow. We can at least do that whilst we're waiting.
Unlocking gear.
Unlocking gear. Perfect. Margaret, yeah, starter cutout's a lot higher than the NG as well.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Perfect. Left is clear.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
It's like I've heard it before. Perfect. We'll do the before taxi flow. The ignition should have been on right or left. That's all set. Air conditioning's on. Flaps to 5. There we are. Sim sounds are better now. We've got the engines running. Let's do the flight control check. So full forwards, full back, left, centre, right, centre, rudders right and left. Recall. Just about to see the pin. There it is. Reduce the expanded display like that, and then we'd read the before taxi checklist. Lots of membership pings coming in here. Oh, that's why. Gifted members coming in. Well, frankly, first to the Typewriter Kid 2 months. Hey there, sadly I'm not able to watch, but I wish you and everyone else a fantastic stream. Thank you very much for your support as a member. But Aaron Flood is just coming in here with 10 gifted members. Oh my goodness me. Welcome aboard to all the new members. I'm not going to read every single one of those out because we're just about to taxi, and I've just well, I don't know why the alerts have stopped. It's conveniently stopped because it's going to go off for ages, but that's very generous of you, Aaron Flood. Thank you very much, and I hope you're doing very well. That's great. And all the new members, follow the instructions sent by Domino Musin on how to join the members Discord. Right, let's release the parking brake. One thing that they do need to fix is the spool up time. You can see it, look how it's just moving on its own. That's very max. It's got so much thrust and idle. Even if you put the engine and wing anti-ice on, actually that's a test. Let's see here, ground idle 21.1. Yeah, so on the ground that does increase the... Was it just the N2? Yeah, it does increase the thrust slightly, and it does make a big difference on the ground if you have engine anti-ice on. Oh, I've just seen an Austrian pull. I wonder where he's going. We'll just wait for him to commence taxi. But yeah, I've not even touched the thrust because you don't need to in the Max, but when we do the config check... Look, we're already up to 40%. It should barely move there at all. Ah, excellent. The Austrian's just taxiing off, so we shall follow him. And I best do some Unicom. Oops, I always forget this when there's no ATC. I should be on Unicom, shouldn't I? Oh, now what? I do need to look at the rudder because it is very... Oh my god, there's actually quite a few of you. Fantastic. Presuming that most of you are coming with me. Com 1, excellent.
And Austrian 624, following company Bravo 1, hold short, runway 11.
There we are. And lot 1 Sierra Zulu taxi into depart runway 11. Perfect. Oh no, am I not meant to be calling it Unicom now, have you? Tim, have you passed that back to devs? Not sure. Oh, guys, I'm just going to jump into the menu because I'm getting a lot of stuttering on my screen. I know you guys can't see it, but I'll show you what I'm getting. I know how to fix it now. We just turn on yoke cam. Oh, look at that. As soon as I turn on yoke cam, it stopped. But I was getting a lot of stuttering. It's something to do with the refresh rate. But because I've got a 165 Hz monitor, someone said to me, if you put the 50% refresh rate on, it will... let me just jump in here. It'll stop the stuttering and it won't affect your performance. Oh, it is on 50%. Oh, why has it started doing that? Annoying. I'm getting a lot of screen stuttering. Maybe it's to do with my monitor settings. Settings. 160. Oh, it's going down to 60 Hz. How do I... You guys will know more than me. I think I just knocked my trim. I've got adaptive Hertz on there, so I think it's constantly changing the frequency of the monitor, and that's what's causing the sort of blurring. Hi Felix, I hate it to have constantly changed keyboard layout between different languages. Ah, very good Felix. Well, your English is far better than your home nation's national language, that's for sure. Thank you very much for popping in here, the developer of the fantastic 747-200 in X-Plane 12. ONP, yeah, the PMDG lighting is very, very dim. I think it will be night time by the time we get to Wroclaw later, so we can test the lighting here. But yeah, the LED lights are actually pretty decent, pretty bright. The stuttering stopped. You'll be pleased to know, everyone. Cool. So hopefully the two little Austrians will do intersection departure, like we're planning. But whilst we wait, we'll now do the before takeoff checklist. So config checked, flaps we have 5 green lights, stab trim set for departure 5.6 units. Let's do the before takeoff briefing. So Pax auto bleeds on, V speed set 40, 41, 50, and that's set on the MCP. Fine on the PFD. The departure is going to be the Ulgil 2 Alpha, straight ahead on the SID. We're going to make a right turn, climbing to flight level 90, NADP 1. So we'll accelerate at 3,400 feet. Any problems, we'll climb straight ahead to 3,000 feet MSA. That's reviewed. Cabin secure. Before takeoff checks complete.
Approaching minimums.
Perfect. So you guys can't see the stuttering. It's quite bad here. Oh, great performance though today. FPS. Fantastic. Gravy waiting for the next random failure stream with the Max. Uh-oh. Yes, it does have failures, but I don't know how much of it is can be done sort of on a timer like in the PMDG. But yes, maybe one day we'll look at that. Thank you very much for your continued support. Gravy Overload. Guys, if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yada yada yada, etc. Say about an average every 45 minutes. Right, there we are at the whole point. Nothing we can do except wait patiently. Hans plane looks stunning. I wasn't so sure about the cockpit testers at first, but I'm definitely buying it. What's your opinion on it? Yeah, the textures, well, they're amazing. I think some people have a bit finicky with textures, but I don't know what I've just turned off or on there. But yeah, I think it looks really nice, personally. But the aircraft itself, you know, from launch now is going to be really good. As I said several times last stream, the foundations here are fantastic for an awesome add-on. There's changes to be made. Now, I practiced some go-arounds earlier, and when I pushed toga, the speed window didn't close, and when you retracted the flaps, the speed window didn't go up. I mean, it did engage in toga, but it wasn't quite as I anticipated. Listerman, can you raise the yoke to check the inputs? Yes, let's have a look. It's a little bit of lag, but it's not bad. So you see how it... Yeah, it doesn't sort of pick that up. So, but it does fly really well in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The handling is fantastic. I don't know what they've done or how it works, but it's good. It's not X-plane good, but it's darn pitch and power set those, and the roll rate, pitch rates are fantastic. Very, very impressed. Unrelated, but does the weather radar work in the basic form that a Sabre allows? Hans, I haven't had any opportunity to see what the weather's like. Someone commented, what's motoring mean? But so yeah, is that in relation to the engine start, no doubt. So BRM, bowed rotor motoring, it's to do with the LEAP 1B engines. Basically, because of the size of it, there's a rotor shaft that goes through the engine, and over time on the ground it bows slightly due to heat in the engine after it's shut down. So what happens is the BRM, when you get motoring here on N2, basically what it's doing is straightening this shaft out before you insert fuel there. When I first read this, I was like, oh, that sounds a bit concerning, but no, it's completely normal, and it's just part of this type of engine. Hi Eddie, hope you're doing well, buddy. 29 months as a member. Hi Captain, kindly explain engine motoring in the Max. I predicted that. Does that answer your question, Eddie? Thank you very much for your continued support as members. It's like I had a magic ball and I could predict that was going to be asked. Lee, your membership lab's trying to rejoin Discord but just says error. Is that a me problem? I can see you're an active member, but if you follow the steps as usual, like when you rejoined, it shouldn't be a problem. There we are. Lot 100 lining up runway 11 Wroclaw. Good. Let's do our checks below line. Clear takeoff, I'll imagine. There's RAS. The voice is slightly different to the real RAS, but the fact it's got RAS as all is pretty cool. Auto and TARA. Good. It's like it can tell it's on a runway. Oh, the taxiing it's better than most aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim, but it's still a bit. It's the brakes. I can't quite judge the braking. There we are. Cool.
On runway 11.
Tony the Hole, are you flying the Max in real life now? Yeah, I've been flying it for about nearly 2 years, and I've got about 300 hours on the Max series. There we go. Yeah, I need to look at the refresh rates or something, because I'm getting a lot of flickering on my monitor. Right, looks like the aircraft ahead. Let's just give him a little bit more space. I did see him on TCAS. He's just popped off. I think we're good to go, guys. So, is the engine 2 responsive, Mohammed? Yeah, very responsive. That needs to be tweaked. I think we're good to go, guys. So, timing. So if I set it to 40%, way too fast. That needs to be much slower. Right, let's get the sound set up, because the engines would still be spooling up in reality. Where's Microsoft Flight Sim? I'm trying to find the sim. There we are, stabilise, set takeoff thrust. Now you have to set it manually. There we are, 87. Oh, what was that? I just ran over something. Takeoff thrust set indications normal, but you have to set it manually. 80 knots, release forward pressure. Yeah, so the auto throttle overrides, even though it's in. Just want to bang on 87, that'll do. Slight crossing from the right.
V1.
Up we go, rotate. So watch, if I make no second input, there you go, there's a bit of a dead band, you have to pull back. Great. It's a bit more pronounced in reality, but not bad at all. Gear up. LNAV's engaged, just turn the sim sounds down slightly. LNAV. There we are, so we wait until 3,400 feet until we accelerate. There we are. See you later, Wroclaw, we'll be there shortly. So N1. So the aircraft's maintaining around V2 plus 20 to 25. There's 3,400 feet coming up, so I'll bug up. And the right turn, max speed 210 knots for the turn. And set standard. Refresh rate's really slow on the PFD, hopefully they'll improve that in time. Speed checked, flaps 1. Oh yeah, the G loading's a bit unrealistic. I was only 20 knots above the stall speed there when I started pitching up. It has G loading and you can see how the stall speed's being affected as I pitch up in the climb, but it's not as high as that. God, my monitor is flashing like crazy. Oh, look at the flight director command that turn though, absolutely perfectly. Really nice. It's a really, really good autopilot and autoflight director system. One of the best I've seen in any add-on. But yeah, the refresh rate on the PFD. Yeah, look at that. I'm flaps up and the Newton margin's very close. Right, see how my FPS is really smooth otherwise. So vertical speed, 210 knots is the max speed for that turn. We can now accelerate to 220. On the flight directors and in trim. Command A. 2,000 feet, will level off at 90 briefly, or just certainly reduce the rate to climb. Flaps up, no lights, standard sets. 3 times after takeoff, check this. So auto brake off, gear stays up, start switches off. Air conditioning and pressurization, 2.5 set. Release the crew, and that's it. After takeoff, checklist complete. Check the aircraft screen refresh rate in your graphics settings. It might be on medium instead of high. Okay. It's the blinking of the monitor. And again, look, I just want to show you what's going on my screen. Can you see that? Oh, every time I turn on Yocam it stops. And now it's stopped altogether. Oh, there you go. Yeah, as soon as I switch scene it stops. I just need to keep swapping scenes. It's weird how it does that. Oh, I always default the camera on my fat belly. There we go. Yeah, approaching flight level 90. Oh, I completely forgot to select all the charts. So, I'm so used to using Navigraph, but show airports from FMS. Complete. Just to show you here, so we've got Wroclaw. There's the airport code. So they did an update to ensure that they all worked and displayed. There's the SID, and it's the Ulgil 2 Alpha. Oh, why is that not loading? No, our level of flight level 90. I'll show you on the Navigraph at least. Cool. So imagine agencies cleared us to go higher. We'll go straight up to our cruise level, which is flight level 300. So that's set. VNAV. There's no more restrictions in the FMC. It's all at or above VNAV. Disable G-Sync in Windows. That looks like a G-Sync issue. I have this. Alt and enter to go out of window. Yeah, I've tried this before. No, it's come back. If I go into Windows, it doesn't help, I'm afraid. Will it hurt to change my G-Sync in NVIDIA settings before I do anything? HDO, first thing I'd do if I was still on this city is ask, do we have any speed restrictions? And hopefully they'll go no, so we can go delete and delete. And go execute, and then we can get to 290 knots. Aaron, I might have to have a look at that then. Atomic Penguin, the restriction of flight level 90 or below is for the EPWR Papa arrival from the southeast. Are you sure? I've got the SID here. Old Guild 2 Alpha. It does say flight level 90 or below there. I think it's the same restriction as well. Perfect. So if I go into, is it Microsoft settings or NVIDIA settings and turn G-Sync off? It's getting annoying. Probably give me a headache over time. I'll do the pre-cruise checks now as well. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights. You have to use the mouse wheel to move the switches in the iFly as well. Pressurization's all good. Release the belts. Set. Recall. There we are. Checks complete. I'll turn off NVIDIA settings. I changed all. I had a big play with these settings earlier, but I was having this screen issue a few weeks ago. So NVIDIA control panel, just turn off G-Sync. No, Ross Simon, good try, good try. So global settings. Weird, if I bring up another window in the screen, it's fine. It's only when I'm in the screen. Tom, hi Captain, glad to see the stream in the Max. Is the fixed page working in the FMC? Yeah, absolutely. Screen refresh rate. I'll have a look at those settings after I've landed, but I think it doesn't fix it. It's a known issue. I don't know how to turn G-Sync. Oh, set up G-Sync. So, I'll just share my screen, guys, so your excellent knowledge can help me. There you are. So, I've got that. So, I just turn off enable G-Sync, or G-Sync compatible. Shutting down the computer, yes. So, when I'm in that screen here, it's only when I directly click it. Oh, it seems to have stopped now. Okay, I'll try turning it off. Hold on. Apply. Oh, my screens have got off. Ah, you fixed it. My computer didn't like doing it, but it's definitely fixed it. Thanks, guys. So G-Sync off is the key. Oh, and it seems to have improved that. Oh my god, that is really smooth now. Ah, my FPS seems to have improved as well. Oh, guys, you are very useful. Thanks a lot. That should be on 25. Damn you, G-Sync. Tommy Sue, yeah, it's a known issue, Tommy Sue, with the refresh rates on the altimeter. I mean, it's improved it, me turning off G-Sync, but it is a bit laggy. But turning off G-Sync definitely helps. Look at those two Embraers that took off the ahead, look. You see they're turning left and we're going to follow them now. It's cool, isn't it? Do the contrails in Microsoft Flight Simulator move in the wind? There's one way of finding out. If I go here, camera, and just turn off... Follow me. Oh, wow, very good Microsoft Flight Simulator. Look at the contrails moving in the wind. The camera's completely still here. That's awesome. I was wondering, because we're following the exact same track, and I was wondering why are the contrails over there, but it's actually moving in the wind. That's very impressive that that's modelled. Well done, Microsoft Flight Sim, for that. I mean, we all know it looks fantastic, doesn't it? It looks ruddy fantastic. I don't know why the charts aren't working. They're a bit buggy at the moment. But when I'm streaming, I always prefer to bring out the chart as a sort of an overlay. Cool. So on the way, ETA straight in 15:39, so about 40 minutes. Yeah, it's got a bit laggy again now, but the actual FPS I'm getting is about what does Fly Live say? 48 FPS. Very, very good. So it's lovely and smooth. No, if I move the camera, it's lovely and smooth. It's just laggy on the instruments, unfortunately. Serious just would have liked a tablet for the EFB. Yeah, me too. I mean, apparently this is a Boeing thing. I've never seen any operator really use this sort of tablet, and I like the fact it has one, but I think the majority of operators use some sort of EFB. Mr. Mango, what's your PC running on? Pure grit and determination. No, my specs will come up. No, someone will put them in chat. Just turn the sim down a bit more, guys. Owen, thank you very much. 57 months as a member. Hi. I remember in the final X-Men 11 stream you found the Zebo near perfect. Do you think this is still the most realistic 737 sim experience? The Zebo mod is still very good. It's having a whole recoding at the moment, I think, for X-Plane 12. This is on par with PMDG. PMDG's had the opportunity of being in development for, what was it, nearly a couple of years, and updates. It's more polished. This is excellent, and I said it last stream, this is ahead of where PMDG was on release. So when the PMDG was released, you remember when we did a test sector, and it was like things like it wouldn't hold altitude. I was holding it, it would just descend and climb and things like that. This is a lot more solid in that respect, but this isn't with its issues, such as the go-around logic I was playing around with earlier. But from the box, it's really good. Really, really good. Oh, fiance's back because Jack's walked off. Randy Captain, are you planning on upgrading your PC for Flight Sim 24? No, so my PC will be 3 years old in December. It's got a 3080 and I think a reasonably good graphics processor. It's only, what, a couple years, 2 or 3 years old. My plan is to keep this for another couple of years. I'm sure it'll run fine. There's people with far worse specs, and then I'll upgrade in a couple of years' time. Unless it completely struggles to run it, which I don't think it will. Adam, Captain, out of interest, have you noted the small bugs, and have you found and fed them back to the devs? Adam, I haven't had really much time. You must remember that I am a full-time airline pilot and examiner instructor. I have my brother's wedding this weekend. Any spare time I get, I try and stream. And actually, at my operator, we've got our next every 6 months. Every 6 months the exams change. What we do in our recurrent training, so I need to study in preparation for that as well before the end of the month, and I might get rostered that early, so I've got some preparation to do with that as well. So if I get time, I'll try and contact them directly. What would be very useful is if anyone here would like to note anything I comment on and feed that in there. They very much want people to join their Discord, the Flight One Discord, which I'm sure one of the moderators will find the link for and post it there. If you want to comment there and provide any feedback, that would be appreciated. If I had an opportunity to, I'd write everything down, compose an email and send it off, but I've got a lot of things planned I want to get done on the channel, plus other life stuff as well. So to answer your, I was answering the question as long as possible there, Adam. I should have just said no. Gadget Badger, is there somewhere we can see your simulator graphics settings? Not in the settings here. However, I will show you what I have set because I copied this today, and it seems to have dramatically improved things for my setup. Don't forget, I'm running Streamlabs, loads of software in the background while streaming. So you would get better performance if you had my specs 2. Let me find it. What I searched. Best settings. I think it was like 2024. It was quite a recent video because there's loads of outdated videos now. Here it is. I found it. It's from a channel called Runway in Sight. I'll post the link in chat. But this is what I used because I think his specs were very similar to mine. Yeah, pretty much identical. So I just set them up in a similar fashion to this, made a few subtle changes. There we are. Thanks, Domino Mosina, for grabbing that. Alex, how did you get on the beta list? Did you sign up or were you offered it because of being a YouTuber? I got an email, so I just went, yes please. Chris, a lot of real world pilots really like this plane from what I see. Great to hear their feedback. Yeah, it's good. You must never forget that it, in essence, is a entertainment product. So typically prices for these high fidelity add-ons around £50 to £70. As mentioned, Flight One have announced that this will be selling for $70, which is 50 quid. You are never going to perfectly mirror a multi-million pound commercial jet airline perfectly. You need a level D simulator, and they cost what? List price now, 8, 9, 10 million euros. There are always going to be limitations, but they are ruddy good. I've had some colleagues, some senior examiners at my work, colleagues of mine, they're good friends, and sometimes they take the mick and watch some of the videos. And one of the senior examiners, he's been there for 25, 30 years, he actually bought for his son the simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator X-Plane. He got the PMDG, and this is a senior examiner operator. He's been there for 30 years, and he's a little bit computer illiterate, so he called me up and I sort of helped him set it up, and he could not believe how good desktop simulators were. He flew into Corfu, and I had the same thing last year, and they have a new approach there. He tried it, and then he flew the actual approach the next day. He said it was so beneficial to actually have seen it in the sim, the sort of geography of the area, how the approach would look. So yeah, as a sort of unofficial way of aiding training, unofficially, it is a really useful tool. So yeah, that's again, I've gone off on a tangent, but I hope that sort of feedback is really useful for you guys, and seeing how realistic they are. Are they absolutely perfect? No, far from it, but they are very close to what they could do in real life. Cool. Where are we in relation to our top of descent? 90 nautical miles. We are flying, looks like, look, directly overhead Prague. So my PA would have said, yeah, we're routing over to the Czech Republic, overhead Prague, before descending into Austrian Salzburg. But I think we should start setting up for the descent. So let's get the weather in Salzburg. There's the benefit of the max look, and we're a bit low as well. 2.2 tons of fuel an hour. Be around 2.3, 2.4, the same level in the NG. Good. So yes, weather. That's what we're checking. So Salzburg weather. Yeah, so 150 at 11, 18 minutes ago. So it is going to be straight in on runway 15. There was a tempo on the TAF for the wind to swing around 310 at 10, or look at that, gusting 25, but a little bit early for that. But the TAF forecast is easterly, so it will be straight in on the ILS. Now we are going to do an ILS on the first one because I've not actually done an ILS yet, just to see how it works. But we will do a non-precision approach into Wroclaw. We're going to do the RNAV 11. All the easterly facing runways in Wroclaw are non-precision. So we'll do the ILS today. We can preset the QNH just to ensure that it's set correctly. Thanks for subscribing there as well, Dan Turner. Welcome on board. Let's now have a look here at the arrival. Actually, before we do that, start loading up the FMC. So descent page is in. The winds will fetch from Simbrief via ACARS. Joshua, you got the dream setup of ATPL questions and flight deck sim in the background going. Fantastic. Good luck with your ATPL exam, sir. Right, let's load in those winds. Execute. They're a bit random, but it will still work in the exact same way. It's quite warm actually down in Salzburg, 25 degrees and +4 here. So the ice deviation is probably about +7 on average. So let's put 7. Execute. Fix rings in for runway 15. Oops. Wow, we can type it or line select here, doesn't make any difference. /10, /4, and we're at 30,000 feet, so /90 will be roughly where top of descent is. Let's have a look at the arrival. It's quite a shortened arrival via the Badit 2 Romeo, so we're going to arrive in via Badit. There's the Badit 2 Romeo, at or above 4,000 feet, and then we have initial approach fix for runway 15 at the Salzburg VOR. Now, there is something I have noticed with this add-on. There doesn't seem to be any decel point. So, at Atchet, which is 10-11 miles, have a look what it says here in the FMC. It's saying 240 knots. It's showing at Foxtrot India 15 at 8 miles, it's still doing 240 knots. That's incorrect. It should have started decelerating at that point automatically. So that is I don't know if it's a bug or it's not being modelled. That's too fast. 8 miles, 240 knots, inappropriate. So we can edit it manually. Shouldn't need to do this, but what we'll do is an Atchet at 10.9 miles. We'll just put a speed of 180 knots or below. Execute, and hopefully VNav will look. Did you see that? It temporarily changed, but it's still commanding 240 knots after, which is very unusual. So that is something that is not correct. But anyway, let's see how it deals with it. Via Atchet, then platform altitude is 4,000 feet. The FAF is at Foxtrot India 15, which is 8.1 DME, 7.1 there, 7.8 there. 3-degree path checks in the FMC. The minimums then. Again, we can't check this in our tablet, but we'd have to check this in the real OPT. The missed approach climb gradient, it's twice as steep as a conventional missed approach climb gradient. So this is based off single engine performance of 2.5, but we need a higher one of 5 here. You shouldn't have any issues in an NG or max with that, but we'd still have to enter that in the OPT, which I'll do in the real one. And see if we can land. But based off that, the minimums are 1,682 feet, 271 feet above the ground. So let's set 1682 on the minimums here. 1682. It's going to be Barrow. Yeah, the radio altimeter. That's weird. Is that a bug, or is there certain Boeing aircraft that have the radio set there? On all ours, the radio altimeter's up here. I know there's an option to have a rad-out display here, but I always want the minimums had to be set there. Anyway, it is Barrow minimums. 1682. Oh, it's so fiddly to set. 1682. Perfect. And just to make sure we get no issues with the wrong QNH today, we'll preset the correct QNH, or the actual QNH now from the ATIS. It is what is 9 and 9 and 9 hectopascals. So 9 and 9 and 9, and we'll just preset that as well. Yes, this is something actually. Why can't I put the QNH in here? This layout looks a bit different to ours as well, but there's no way where I could put in the forecast QNH. Yeah, okay, no problem. Let's just see what happens when we set it to path. MSA, right, it's a beautiful approach, guys, but there's a threat of very high terrain to the south, 11,000 feet. So you have to go around, look straight ahead 2 miles, immediate left turn to Sierra India, NDB 410. So we'll tune that now. ADF tuners in a slightly different location to our fleet. Oh, that's a weird. How do I set 410? It looks weird. Good boy, Jack. Is that tune correct? 0410? Okay, well, yeah, hopefully that's set correctly. Cool. So that's that. I'm just going to check the performance in the real OPT and make sure we can land legally. So Salzburg, runway 15, missed approach climb gradient 5%, dry. I'm going to put 0 wind to be conservative. It's 20. Actual latest weather. Thanks whoever that was. Give me 2.6. And 9 and 9 and 9 and 24 degrees now. Flat 30. No VRF addition required for flat 30. When you fly flat 40 to Salzburg, you have to fly plus 15 knots. And landing weight then. So we're going to burn 600 kilos. Very heavy because we're tankering. 66.8 is the landing weight. So the real OPT says at 66.8 we can land just, but we must take reverse credit because the brake's going to get very hot. Order brake 3, 50 minutes. Look at this. So that's what the real OPT says. So if we go idle, this is with idle reverse. So order brake 3, look, brake cooling 50 minutes. So that's no good. Let's try reverse thrust. All operative, second detent. There we are. Look, brake cooling now is much better. So that's factored 21 minutes brake cooling, and it's white, so we can land. Unfactored, no problem. So you can see that order brake 3 factored takes us right to the end of the runway, but the actual stopping distance we can use is unfactored. It stops about there. We need to go to the end anyway. So that's all good, and we can meet the missed approach climb gradient. So flap 30, order brake 3, you must go second detent reverse and brake cooling. Dante, thank you very much. 52 months. Hope all is well, Captain. Glad to be catching a stream live today. Thank you very much indeed for your continued support. And as Edo said, 52 months. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, Dante, I think, is one of my oldest members. So that's over 4 years, isn't it? So thank you very much for your continued support for that entire period of time. And also, is the 737 MAX 8 safe in real life? 100%. Let me reassure you guys that what happened at the beginning of this aircraft's life will not happen again with regards to MCAS. There's, you can't say nothing could happen. Any aircraft could crash the next day from all sorts of factors. Human factors is by far the most common reason for aircraft accidents. But the MCAS system, there's enough safety built into that. Now it works as designed to ensure that the trim won't run off like it did before. Cool. Joel, I cannot wait for this aircraft to be released. Patty, you can bring the company tablet to home in LATAM. How I pilot the tablet is fixed on the planes. Oh, absolutely, Patty. Yeah, ours is just an iPad, so we can take it home. We use it to study, pre-flight checks. I do all at home as well. So yeah, it's a good tool. Fishel, I don't actually know. I'll have a play with it and see how it behaves in stall and whatnot, and see how things are. But I think an educational video explaining how it works would be quite useful. Dante, you're more of a lurker, but always catch all the streams if I can't join live. Best flight sim channel on YouTube. Thank you very much, Dante. Very kind of you to say. It's going to be a lovely approach. The sky looks fantastic, doesn't it? Sounds are superb on this as well. Look at that. Now we're halfway through the sector, about to start descent. Alex, 7 months as a member. This afternoon's stream was a good motivation to get all my work done early. Thanks, Captain. Looking forward to the approach. Thank you very much, Alex, and glad you got all your work done today. Now you're treating yourself by watching the stream. I think there's better ways of looking after yourself, but thank you very much for coming in, Alex. It's very kind of you to say such things. Cool. Cheers, Chris. Kind words. Tom, what's your most enjoyable aircraft to fly? On the sim, well, I don't have much choice in reality. It's some sort of 737. But I really enjoyed the Concorde stream the other day, and the 3.5 update from Colin Martis vastly improved that aircraft. So I want to fly that again soon. But obviously, with the Max's release on the town, the interest in it, you might just see this in the next week or so, if you don't mind, because it helps the channel get exposed to new subscribers. Dzień dobry, good afternoon, Domino Mosina. I'm also a member for over 4 years. Good afternoon from Poland. Love the livery a lot. Oh, very good. Where's my soundboard? Can't wait for this bird to release. Gonna fly Wroclaw Heathrow on day 1. Fantastic. Cat, does it do something unlike the PMDG? I think the PMDG has more things complete. Oh yes, I think one of the things was you can test all the lights individually as per the real aircraft, which I don't think the PMDG does. No, the PMDG has had a lot of time to sort of iron out a lot of its issues since release, so yeah. Very good. Oh my goodness, more gifted members. Who was it this time? Aaron, was it Aaron you again? Again? Well, Aaron. Oh my goodness me. Aaron, I'm trying to work it. Was it you earlier that gave 10 gifted members? Oh my god, it was. Aaron, that's 20 gifted members you've done today. I don't even think you've said anything in chat, but thank you very much. Welcome aboard to all the new members as well. Aaron Flood, very generous of you. Thank you, guys. That's going to go off now for absolutely ages. I'm just gonna turn that off for a 2 seconds. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh well, I've just turned off the alerts, but I will say massive thank you to Tommy Sue as well. Just donated $30 of a currency I don't recognise with a pool, a pair that says cool, and he's done it again. My goodness, thank you very much indeed. Romulus, I can see you've chimed in too. Thank you very much, buddy. 59 months as a member. I figured I'd chime in. Loving the stream. I hope your rudder is now sorted. Thanks, Romulus. I don't know about an X-plane. Is it an X-plane issue? But yeah, rudder's fine here. And you can see how the aircraft reacted as well. Thank you very much, guys, all for your generosity. Very, very kind. 5 miles. We should get a message come up here. Oh, where is it? Reset MCP altitude. Why has that not come up? There it is. That should happen at 5 miles, unless there's a difference I don't know about. So let's now settle our altitude. We can go straight down to 4,000 feet. Actually, initially we'll just go above the transition level. What's the transition here? By ATC, of course. So let's just go to flight level 120 to start with. Out at events, so now the aircraft will descend at 1,000 feet per minute until it captures the profile, and I'll unmute the alert box. But thank you very much. We had a couple of donations from Tommy Sue. Thank you very much, buddy. Romulus as well. Thanks for all your support and being such a involved member since joining the channel as well. Thanks, buddy. Kevin, does a manual rudder input like that disconnect the autopilot? No, so the rudder has no input at all on the autopilot. So if I put a little bit of right rudder in, look how the autopilot's compensating. So by turning left, okay, so the autopilot's trying to manage that yaw by rolling left, and you can see it can only do so much. Look, and eventually the autopilot will get saturated. So we just never touch them, obviously, in flight. But that was quite well managed by the or quite realistic what happened there. Mike, thank you. 14 months as a member. The 737 MAX seems worthy of a launch date purchase. I hope it happens soon. Absolutely, and the devs seem to be. Well, I didn't realise actually how old Flight 1 are. They started, was it back in 2002 or something like that? They've been going for a long time, so they know what they're doing, I believe. So, well, I do believe I can see they know what they're doing. And look at their descent here. Arm should only happen when the thrust lever is completely closed, though. Points away. But look, it's a proper VNAV idle path descent. Thrust levers are idle, holding the speed, inbound Badit. And that's where we'll be at flight level 120. And look, the only thing was it didn't generate the decel speeds. I put 180 knots at Atchet. We do have, I think this is from 280 to 250 rings there. So let's see what happens as we get closer. Yes, your sim CFI. I did get an email from Flight 1 to say that that's the price that they've announced. I think that's reasonable. 50 quid, guys. 50 quid if you're from the UK. Don't know what that is in euros.
Welcome.
Welcome on board there, Flighttronic. Thank you very much for your subscription. Look at this weather. And these, thanks to the G-Sync issue, guys, it's completely fixed. But the performance I've had after following that video on YouTube has really boosted my FPS. I've turned some of the settings down to medium, and you wouldn't even tell. Great performance. Bandit, I've not seen if RF turns on certain RMP approaches are modelled. And we're doing an RMP approach later, but it doesn't have any radius to fix turns. Oh, sorry, what video? Yeah, guys, we shared it earlier. Let's see if I can post it in chat here. There you go, that's the link. I followed that video, basically. And he has basically the similar specs to me, so I followed it and I got about an extra 7 or 8 FPS. Although I have turned G-Sync off, but it sounds like I don't need it. Awesome. Does it have airway intersection on page 2 or 3 of the approach page? It does, Cat. So airway intersection, I don't know about that, but you'll notice on here there's a couple of extra pages available. You have the fuel progress page. So this is a great way of checking if you have your fuel leak. So it takes your fuel burn or calculated fuel from the start of the flight, and compares it, and these need to be the same. And then you have your normal pages, progress page 4. The init ref page has 2 pages. For RAS, well, that should be on dry by default. This is how RAS works, and if you've got a more contaminated runway, it's a little bit more conservative with the callouts with RAS. But all of that has been modelled, which is great to see. It's coming into a little bit of cloud here. Turn off the clock now. 1740. Don't think there's any traffic around us at the moment, but we'll keep an eye out on everything. Bobby, the cockpit looks similar to the PMDG cockpit. I wonder if both companies used photogrammetry scans to get perfectly accurate models. Who knows? But yeah, it does look like the PMDG. But they are the same. Don't forget, the NG and Max, they are the same aircraft in essence. It's just new engines, slightly new, different logics, and obviously the new screens. But it's been made to fly just like the NG. So it handles like the NG, the response to the engines is like the NG. Shavrik, yeah, I like how aircraft and X-Plane handle. But I'd love to know how they've gotten this to fly very well in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They never fly badly aircraft in this sim, just prefer in X-Plane. Need a bit of cockpit lighting and probably a smidge of engine anti-ice. See if this works correctly. So you should get 2 amber cowl valve lights when you turn them on, and then they should go dim. Perfect. So we don't have the blue lights anymore on the engine anti-ice switches. And this should... let's actually have a quick look here. Yeah, so there should be a marked increase in M1 when you do this. 37.0, engine anti-ice on. No change. So when you turn the engine anti-ice on in the Max, it has quite a large increase of thrust at idle, and your speed actually does start increasing quite quickly, so much more than the NG. But that increase in M1 doesn't seem to be modelled. Turn up the panel lighting here. Ooh, very nice. Hide my control column. Panel lighting on. Yeah, that's very good. That's it's a bit too bright on there. That's about right there. Cool. So, why is there no lower DU in the Max? Because they wanted to use these very large screens, which meant they had to get rid of the lower DU, sort of incorporate the upper DU and lower DU. So they've sort of incorporated it all into this display, or wherever you want the engine transfer. And the lower DU is where they moved all the stuff which was on the sort of centre-facing pedestal. Weather radar should be on, of course. It doesn't, but I don't think there's any weather anyway. Keith, do you have motion blur on or off? Strange, but turning motion blur on with G-Sync got rid of the screen flicker. Oh, really, Keith? I think I have it off. But I want to leave this now because it's running so smoothly. Marcus, can we talk a little bit about thrust settings on the way? Back on the Max, I saw it had 28k and the lower thrust setting on landing as well. Yes, so I've changed it in the settings here to 27, which is what our fleet has fitted. Not the full 28k. But like with the PMDG, the amount of options you have available here is phenomenal. If I go back here, well, just if I go into panel style, all of the settings. So if I, for example, select MFD, you know, you can change all the things here as you wish. PFD, look, there's multiple pages. I've done my best to sort of set it up as per my operator. Autopilot logic, and we don't have VNAV out, for example, so I've just deselected that. It's very good. Right, anyway, sending past flight level 150, seatbelt sign on. It's doing a good job with the idle path descent, but it should have accelerated with engine anti-ice on. Lovely approach here. And now I think the flight factor 777 is a lot more, Shavrik. That's a whole entire experience that add-on. Does the Max have interactive checklists like the 7778? No, it doesn't, Jim. Jipley, is there an external program running, or does the plane run completely inside the sim? No, there is an external plugin called iFly plugin, just like with Phoenix, that needs to be running. Ah, Dan, there should be an option in EFB to swap meters per second to knots. If you could find that, let me know, that'd be great. Annoyingly though, when I jumped into the lot livery, it changed all the settings, so I don't know if it's livery specific, which was really annoying. So if I jump into a different livery, I have to change all the settings. Yeah, you also specify CFI with the iFly in Microsoft Flight Sim on the ground. If battery is on and APU is on, and both gen on as well, if you go ahead and turn off the battery, the APU shuts down. This seems a little bit weird. Nope. If you turn the battery off, the APU immediately shuts down. That is as per the real aircraft, your Sim CFI. Right, approaching flight level 120. We'll descend down to 4,000 feet. We'll set QNH 999. Now, because there was no option... Oh, it's 14 degrees as well. Don't need that on anymore. Let's see what happens when we set QNH. Interesting. Oh no, there it goes. VNAV path's changing, as it would, because we selected VNAV, and there was no option to preset the QNH here, so I don't know if that's something they need to model, but the aircraft will, as it's low on profile, do 1,000 feet per minute. It's attempting to do, and it's also approaching the decel point, so it's going to start slowing down, and then it will start descending idle path. Oh, silky smooth performance. Waffles, that is correct. The Max does climb like a dog at the higher level. An engineer explained to me it's to do with the bypass in the LEAP engines. So the amount of thrust that comes from the core is significantly less than on the NG. So at higher altitude there's more thrust, let's say, from the NG available. Whereas low altitude, this is just, it's basically like a massive desk fan that you have on your office desk. It's pushing so much air, it has great performance at low altitude, which is where you want it, to be fair. Race, it will have CPDLC, it doesn't at the moment, I know they mentioned in Discord. Right, so the decel usually doesn't go all the way straight back to 240, it usually bugs back slowly, but it has gone straight back here. Again, that might be an option from Boeing I'm unfamiliar with, so I have seen other add-ons do that. And I've done 410 the Max, same as the NG, maximum cruise level altitude. I best do some Unicoming. Oh no, what? It's not called Unicom anymore, is it? What's it called? Someone did say. I think it was list them in. You have to remind me what we need to call it. And there's the Alps. Look in the distance. Advisory. Oh, Cat, it's still called. Is it still Unicom in Europe? They're calling advisory. Cool, let's see if we can at least... So there we are, it's now starting to pitch down as it's got to 240 knots on path, that's good. Yeah, that's not worked today, has it? So let's go back to exit quick. Quick! Salzburg. I want to use airports from FMS. Salzburg. It's not very user friendly. No, I want Salzburg. Oh no, there we are, Salzburg. Okay, so now I want... How do I get to the charts? I've got that one, I've just only got the airport chart. Route setup. Yeah, it's not... Terminal charts. I'll just use this one, guys. Right, we've got the decel point. Remember, we had to... I've got the charts up here. I had to manually put 220 knots here for the decel to accurately be placed, and we're now approaching the Badit point, the arrival, and then we're going to go to Salzburg, the VOR 13.8. Oh god, I did the FMC, but I didn't actually set up the frequencies and courses. So 1099 for the ILS. Oops. ILS 1099. VOR will put on standby, 13.8. VOR 13.8. Course is 153. Otherwise, we would not have been able to fly the LLS. We've already picked up the DME. VNAV so far is doing a good job. We've not touched any other pitch mode since we started our descent. 4,000 feet is the minimum altitude until we get all the way to our final approach fix. We can just leave 4,000 feet set. Oh, look at that. Absolutely stunning. Mavericks, does VNAV work? Yes. It has its quirks, but so far today, flying our planned route, it's working really well. Although FMC speed seems to engage very early. You should only do that 15 knots below target speed. And you can see we actually have the glide slope alive there, so that's really good. It's where I'd expect it to be as well, because we do still need to pitch up to get to the up speed, and that should put us nicely on glide. So really nice so far. That's spot on. $70 flying with Squid. Hans, what's the most difficult approach you've done on the line? I went into an undisclosed small airport in France and did a circle to land onto a 4-degree glide path with a 20 knot crosswind once. That was hard. That was hard. I got it in first time, just about. And I've done circles in Italy. No, I never actually done one in Pisa. In the sim. Oh no, I said the airport. Right, there's the decel for 220 knots. Salzburg traffic, lot 1 Sierra Zulus, 15 miles inbound Salzburg. iFly, everyone knows where I mean. Right, this is really good. Well done to Flight 1. This is really, really nice. Decel, approaching a 180 knot point in. We're on VNAV path. It's got common VNAV, so hopefully when I open this, it stays in VNAV path. Flap 1. 15 miles, arm Vorlock. This is fantastic. No replays, guys, because there's no ability to load panel state, so if I shut the engines down, it's just bad. So hopefully there will be one there. This is looking really good. But too much drag with flat 1 and flat 5. Speed check flat 5. Arming approach. So with flat 5, we saw it last stream. Yes, we are only having a shallow descent, but there's too much drag with flat 1 and flat 5. On a 3-degree ILS, I'll demonstrate it again. We should have no deceleration. Or acceleration should hold the speed nicely with no wind. There we are, just approaching Atchit. Localizer glide slope, and look where VNAV has put us. Exactly on the glide slope. Very, very good job. This has been 10 out of 10. This descent with VNAV, we've not changed any mode. It's descended me perfectly on profile. This is really, really good. Approach check is complete. Did the post-cruise checks. No, I didn't. Lights, belts, cabin secure. Checks complete. Localizer glide slope capture. Runway heading 153. Missed approach altitude is 6,000 feet. Set. So this is what I want to demonstrate with the drag. Okay, I'm just going to bug 190 knots. Let the aircraft accelerate to that speed. That's fine. Very nice. This is worked really well. Nice CDA. And Salzburg traffic, lot 1 Sierra Zulu's 10 mile final, runway 15. So this is what I wanted to show you. In the max, which is very slippy, if I now disconnect the auto throttle and close it, see how the speed bleeds off? This shouldn't happen. Okay, it should. Yeah, a smidge too much drag. Smidge too much drag. It should hold that speed nicely. But there's a bit too much drag there. Auto throttle engaged. 8 miles. That traffic's ahead. He's about 5 miles, so he should be able to vacate.
2,500.
The VSD. Oh yeah, VSD. Let's try it. This is the perfect place to. It should have the VSD on. So there should hopefully be if I increase the. Ah, very good. Look at that. The runway is on the terrain. You've got the 1,000 foot Amber 500. This is amazing. Really well modelled. It's really good. It's really, really good. Right. We'll configure at 4 miles. One thing I've noticed is the... actually, has that killed my FPS a bit? No, I think it's just because of the mountains. The flat 40 here is 160 in our aircraft, and the max it's 166 for flat 40. Beautiful approach, isn't it? We'll configure at 5 miles here, I think. Just because that traffic's only just over the threshold. So gear down, flap 15. Match speed. Oops, didn't press the button. There we are. Landing checklist. So, start switches, continuous, recall checked, speed brake. Oh, how do I arm it? Oh, that's extended. Arm green light, landing gear down 3 green, order brake is set to 3. We can go straight to flap 30, we're below 175 knots. VRF plus 5. Top of the white bar here is 1,000 feet above aerodrome level on the 737. So flaps, 30 green light, lights on, checks complete.
1,000.
So in the max, with flap 30 at this weight, you'd have about 57-58%. Take about 7% off the M1, and that's the target M1 you need. And this pitch power is very, very well modelled in the iFly 737. So the pitch and power is really good. Oh, you wait until you see what block fuel we need for the next sector as well. This tankering sector is going to work out well, as long as I don't screw up this approach. 3 reds. Oh, bit of a stutter there from the sim. Thanks you very much. Ah, that guy's just tail end is not off. Why is he stopped there for? Why would you do that? There's like no one there. Disconnecting, that's the easiest way to deal with it. Right.
Approaching minimum.
Checked.
300. Minimum.
Continue. Beautiful
200.
approach. Ah, this is fantastic.
100.
A little bit left, right of centre line.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close.
10.
Hold it. Oh, a little balloon. Just hold it. Don't keep raising the nose. There we are. A bit long, but speed brakes up. Reverse. That's at 83%, which is what we expect. 100 knots. Manual braking. 80 knots. 60 knots. Cancelling reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salzburg. That was a fantastic flight. Really, really solid performance from the aircraft. VNAV worked really well. It had a few quirks on our first ever stream, but we'll do a non-precision approach back into Wroclaw and see how it is. Listen to the wheel noises. So good. Let me just turn the sim up. And so, it's really good. This is Boris guy everyone talks about. He's a legend. It makes such good sounds. Well done. This is excellent. It's so good. This just came from nowhere for me, this add-on. And so good. This is the world update, Alpha. Yeah, this is the world update scenery for Salzburg. Right, vacating the runway. I've already selected the flaps up. Let's now... Sorry, I just logged off there. Someone's tail arse was on the runway for absolutely no reason, so it's easy to go off if there's no ACC. But we can log back on now. Just take a vacant stand. There we go. Superb. So we'll take one of the free stands over there in the distance. We'll do the taxi and flow as well. So yeah, let's take... Well, we'll just have to see which ones are free, but there's a massive 777 there. So hopefully... Well, we could take one of the remote stands if they're all taken. We'll use GSX. I've got a sim profile. That aircraft is still there. Why are you there? Well, I mean, he's just blocking the runway. Is that a troll or something? Oh dear. Is it a troll? If anyone's on frequency, yeah, well, I can't hear anyone there messing around, so I'll stay on that sim for now. Right, check the... Yeah, Andrew, thank you. I do need to change the rudder sensitivity, because I'm only turning it a little bit, and look how much it's moving. So, I need to look into that. Is that a Microsoft Flight Sim thing, or is it something to do with the iFly aircraft? Oh, it could be in the PMDG, yeah. Right, so I better do the clean up. The trim is where I'd expect it to be as well. I think it's all modelled really well in the background, all the things that are going on. There we are, reset the trim. Of course, if you try and move the camera whilst moving buttons, the controls jam. There you go, don't need any thrust. Set that to 100 because we're going to do another sector. Flight director's off. Start switch is off. Just steady, landing lights off. Start that APU. Probes. Should be a low oil pressure light illuminate, which I don't think is modelled. That light should come on when you start the APU. Cool. Let's go find a free stand. That aircraft is still on the runway. It's just annoying when you get people. I personally would log off if I was blocking a runway, but let's try and take I think God, it's busy here, isn't it? Let's go for Whiskey 7. We'll get GSX up and running as well. So GSX. Here the APU starting. Next page. Next page. Where is this stand? It has every stand except Whiskey 7. Great. Well, I might not be able to. Welcome. GSX now. Oh, there is there's ATC. Okay, well, I'll use it next sector, but unfortunately, I can't find what stand number this is. Well, I can see what stand it is. It's Whiskey 7, but it's not coming up. Oop. There we are. That's the beauty of these LEAP engines. You can let it roll forward without adding thrust. There we are. That's where we should be stopping. Cool. Parking brake sets. AP should be available now. It is on the bus. Taxi. Turn off lights. And we've done everything here. Perfect. So, oops. Now, both transfer buses on. Right. 2 blues, red, engines dead. There we are. Seatbelts no smoking off. Whilst the engines are now running, I can turn up Microsoft Flight Sim a bit louder so you can hear it. There we go. Is there a way of finding out what stand you're on? Oh, if you shut the engines down, okay, cool. Non-9 whiskey. I see. Whiskey 7, but well, let's just request deboarding, see if it works.
The boarding requested.
Perfect. There's lots of stuff spawning in. Excellent. Right, that's all done. Just verify the N2 is below 20%, which it is. Anti-collision light off, and then we'd read the transit shutdown checklist. Excellent. So that's all done. Oh my goodness! Look at the fuel. I just must show you something, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly. Let me show you the fuel for the next sector. This is the beauty of tankering. So dispatch system, previous flight plans. I've got to show you this. View PDF. Oh, actually, I could have gone a little less, but look. If I just show you this, we don't need to refuel. First time we've done a tankering sector. Let me just share my
Passengers to boarding
screen. There you go. 4720 required for the sector back, Salzburg to Wroclaw. 4720. We have 5.2. There we are. So we've got a little bit extra, but I did put a little bit on top just in case. And that's the whole idea of tankering. We don't have to upload any expensive fuel from Salzburg Airport. We can just use use this to return to Poland with the fuel we bought. Right then, oops, forgot to turn the weather radar off. That flight, guys, was excellent. Really nicely done by the devs at Flight 1. The VNAV worked flawlessly, but we'll test it on an approach into Wroclaw on the next sector. This is the free scenery update as well from World Update. That aircraft is still there. Look, we'll log off, VATSIM, reload a flight plan and see what's going on when we get out here and utilise the ATC. But I am going to take a 10-minute break, actually, if you don't mind. A bit longer than usual, so I just need to have a quick chat with my partner over a couple of things. I'll be back at around 5 o'clock British summer time for the return sector. I need to do a few things in the background. But if you are enjoying the show so far, don't forget to like the video video will be live time, live weather for a nighttime and sunset flight to Wroclaw, and I'll see you guys shortly. Yes, I'll open the cabin doors as well, Tommy Sue. Sorry to have not opened them, but that is very unrealistic. See you shortly, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Whiskey 2 und Pushback ruft Connection.
Well, thank you very much for that intermission. Just had a nice little freshen up, ready for the return sector. That aircraft is still on the runway. What is going on here in Salzburg? I just logged back in and I was like, what? So I don't know what's going on. There is a controller here. They don't have a flight plan. They're logged on as well. I can see all that sort of stuff. So surely they can get. Oh, he's gone now. Okay, so he's probably been dealt with. But yeah, I've not been listening in, Andrews. What's the town been going on about? But yeah, look how busy it is here. Oh my goodness, we've got JAL 777s, we've got Alpaca Airways, Ryanairs, we've got Lufthansa's, we've got private 737s. It's going to be super busy. But we'll see how we get on. You know, if it's a massive delay for departure, I sort of need to get things wrapped up by 7-ish latest. So I've got an hour to get away from here. Just started the boarding process. Now he's very excited to go on the max. Look, he's running ahead of his parents, and the only thing I did whilst I was away was shut down the APU and put the ground power on, because that's what exactly would happen during a turnaround. So, return sector. I'm not going to change the weights. We're going to take the exact same amount of passengers on the way back, 185. The fuel, as we discussed already in detail, we tankered on that first sector, so I just need to unload this flight plan import from SimBrief. Our brand new flight plan, we are due out in just under 10 minutes. Well, actually just over 12 minutes, but you can see, look, because that tankering sector, we have sufficient fuel already for our return. Look, 4711 required, we have 52 on board, and the weather forecast and en route is really nice in Wroclaw. We're expecting, I'm just actually doing a refresh here, an RMP approach on runway 11. It's Cav OK 18 degrees, and the worst on the forecast is 4,000 metres of rain after 3 o'clock in the morning, so we should be absolutely fine on the way back regarding all of that. Good, so first thing we do then is get the weather, so let's grab the ATIS. The frequency is 133330, and see what we can expect for departure. Now actually, runway 33 is preferred for departure in Salzburg because of that terrain, but I should think we'll be departing off 15 here. It's not coming through on voice, it would seem. No, I've definitely got it tuned 133.3 330, that's why.
.11 QNH 999 becoming. Wind 280 degrees 10 knots. This was Salzburg Information Alpha.
It's Information Alpha.
This is Salzburg Information Alpha. At time 1520
Hi, Septi, very well,
runway
thank you.
in use. Transition level 120 automatic weather report. Wind 160 degrees 11 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers clouds. Few at 9,000 feet. Broken 12,000 feet. Temperature 23. 2.11 QNH 999 becoming. Wind 280 degrees 10 knots. This was Salzburg Information Alpha.
So wind's meant to swing round, but at the moment it's still favouring runway 15.
This is Salzburg Information Alpha.
My operator actually prefers runway 33 departure because of the threat of the terrain, and we could take up to a 15 knot tailwind departure, and we have the approval for. What do you mean Windows do not disturb? No, I want Navigraph off. So yeah, we'll base it off runway 15 because there could be arrivals here on VATSIM. I'm just going to punch that into the OPT. Now the engine outsit off this runway is very complex. I'm not going to probably... Well actually, I will put it all in the FMC. There's a lot of things you've got to insert and ensure that you comply with from here. But the MFRA, I'm just putting all this stuff in the real world OPT, guys. Temperature was 23, QNH 999. Takeoff weight's going to be about the same as it was before. 66.3 now, because we're obviously not... Actually, it'll be a lot less because we're not tankering the fuel. And CG about 21%. Zero fuel weight is going to be 61.7. So this is saying for us, we can take just TO full with flap 5, which is fine. With improved climb performance as well selected. So MFRA 3088. Curious as to what the real OPT. Now here actually a lower flap setting improves your departure performance because of the terrain. You're obstacle limited. So 3088 is the MFRA. Cool. QNH is set. How's the boarding going? That's fine. It's eating into my FPS. So, init ref again. Pos in it. Already got alignment complete. Route. Let's request that from ACARS again. Good luck. Good afternoon from the pond captain. Looking forward to flying the Max myself. Excellent flight sim guy. Good afternoon to you, sir. Let's load that routing in. Call sign now is Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. Departure runway 15 in Ron 1 Bravo. Routing's all in. The star's going to be a Dinop 3 Papa. Dinop 3 Papa, RMP 11 via Whiskey Sierra 604. So let's just check for any discontinuities. Looks good to me. Routes, activate, execute, init ref. 0 fuel weights in, fuel is good. Our alternate is Prague. Reserves are 2.5 tons. 2.5, we're cruising at 31,000 feet on the way back. Average wind and top of climb is about the same, 205 at 36. Top of climb ISA deviations +5. Executes. The real OPT is showing here full TO 92.3. And actually, you know what, we can take an assumed temperature as well. So I'll just show this to you here. There you go, that's from the real OPT for Salzburg. TO full, an assumed temperature of 27. And on limit, so that's full, 27 assumed. Oops. Now why is it not letting me select 27 degrees? Let me select 35. What's the lowest they've got set here? It's not letting me, there's not letting me select 27. Should do. They've obviously got it programmed something less. We'll go full. It's about the same anyway. 92.3. Takeoff flat 5. We could still do. We'd go flat 1 if we needed to. Sets the trim automatically, which I love. 36, 37, 46 sets. Boarding's complete. This is all configured. We'll crank up the APU again. Get ready for push and start. 33,000 feet. Let's just check the elevation here in our destination. It's 406 feet now. Perfect, 406 feet. Now, this airport, look what it has on the departure runway. So we're going to be taking off in that direction, okay? Do you think you want to have an engine failure in that direction? No, because you're going to hit a mountain, alright? So we have what we call a special engine outside here. So we have to sort of... Oh, the fixed rings... After landing, the fixed ring should clear, so you can still see it has it from the previous flight. They should clear automatically, reset, so that's a little thing that's not modelled. So what we need to do is build something into the FMC which sort of represents the routing we'll take in the event of an engine failure. So what I'm going to do is build this. This is a company-specific routing, so it isn't available, but I'm happy to sort of to load it in here. I'm just finding it on my company iPad. We actually do this in one of our type rating sessions as well, so I'm just building it in now. So we're going to put in fixed ring round Oscar Echo Sierra. Okay, there it is. We're going to put in a ring of 1.4 miles, or a distance of 1.4 slash 1.9, just like with the PMDG. You see you put slash 1.9, but it only rounds it. It should show you the decimal point here, but it is correctly putting the correct decimal, the distance in there. Radial 1, why is it gone that way? It should be radial 168. Why is it gone? Oh no, that's correct, 168, perfect. And then we need Sierra Bravo Golf. Radial 141. I know it looks a bit of a mess here. I'll explain in a second what I'm doing. Alright, so I've built it all in. So what this is, what we do in the event of an engine failure. Okay, so this is, if I was to put this next to the SID, I'll give you a better idea. So have a look at the SID and these fixed rings. the SID doesn't guarantee terrain clearance. Okay, now some airlines have specific SIDs for flying in the event of an engine failure. My operator doesn't have that, so the performance department will stitch up a routing to fly in case of an engine failure. So this is what you'd have to do out of Salzburg. We actually climb straight ahead to 1.4 miles, which is this fixturing here. We then make a very slight right turn. So on the chart we go towards this high terrain, bear with me. But doing that slight right turn ensures that when we do our turn here, we don't overshoot this radial. This is the 141 radial from the Salzburg VOR up here, so this needle here. We must not overshoot that radial when we turn. And when we turn with an engine failure, if we are below the upspeed, we have to limit our bank angle to 15 degrees. So by doing this slight right turn before turning left, it just ensures that we have sufficient margin to not overshoot this radial. This is just in the event of an engine failure. And then we fly to the VOR, or the NDB Sierra India, and then to the VOR. So that's what we call a special engine out SID. Bompy, you've done your tyre rating recently. Yeah, anyone at my operator's tyre rating will be familiar with this. So because we do it during the tyre rating. But yeah, it's a tricky departure you have to deal with, but we've programmed that in anyway. The SID stop altitude is going to be 6,000 feet. We'll get that clearance shortly. Runway tracks and headings are set. AP we can pop on the bus. And takeoff page, auto brake to RTO. Frequencies are all set. 113.8. And then we'll get our clearance. 46, set the speeds. Yes, flight directors I forgot to pop on though. Cool. What we shall do is get the pushback ready. And then we'll just get all that clearance now. Ah, look at how it's shutting the doors. Interesting. So GSX didn't open them for me, but it has shut them. Interesting. You got it, yeah. This is also at my operator captain's only departure, yeah, for aforementioned reasons we stated. Right, let's contact town and see what's going on. It would seem there was an issue earlier. Someone said listening to town, glad I didn't. Any issues, guys, we'll just depart offline.
MSFS Hospital, good evening.
Hopefully,
Bravo,
no
correct.
issues.
You get Wroclaw in run 1 Bravo, climb 6,000 feet, squawk 4651.
Perfect.
Alpaca 1975.
Alpaca, excellent.
Via Inaugural 1 Bravo departure.
I'm not going to get out of here in time, am I?
4651, rest correct.
Perfect.
4651, my bad. Alpaca 1975.
I can give it up to a few bit. Oh, crikey, we've got a fancy looking tug here. Where's he going? Oh, bye then. Oh, come on back. Oh dear. Love how the steering doesn't face the right way. And Salzburg Tower, very good day. It's Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. We are on stand Whiskey 7. Copy information Alpha 90909 ahead to Pascal's departure clearance to Wroclaw, please.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, good evening, Bravo, correct. You are cleared Wroclaw in run 1 Bravo, 6,000 feet, squawk 4652.
Cleared to Wroclaw on the in-run 1 Bravo departure, climb altitude 6,000 feet, squawk 4652, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, correct.
Perfect, so 4652, we'll put that to out off straight away, and auto, and we'll go from there. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, stand Whiskey 7, request push and start.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, push and start approved.
Push start approved facing north, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. I thought it would be really busy.
Release parking brakes, please.
Oh, he's not very happy. APU's on the bus already. Push lights on. Hopefully I'll just release the parking brake and it will get rid of the ground power automatically. Yes, it does, that's great.
All engines clear.
Excellent. Guys, just to show you.
What's the callings again?
Something else as well. Flights, sim brief. 16:15, planned departure. Look at the time. Just went 16:15. What a plan! What a plan! Perfect turnaround. Right. Oh yeah, BRM. Let's get these engines started. Let's see if it takes any longer. It should take longer because the engines will be hot. Now the EGT look is there's no residual heat from the previous flight, by the looks of it. N2 motoring.
Salzburg Tower, Alpaca 2 to hotel, ready, push and start.
Alpaca 2 to Hotel. Pushback and setup approved, setting off.
There we are. We have
Pushback,
N1.
straight to hotel.
There's oil pressure. Usually that would come up a little bit sooner. Let's see if this takes any longer. I forgot to start the chronometer, but I could roughly remember how long it took. Yeah, so 25% fuel on. So maybe if they could add some code, because it's clear when the engine shuts down, it seems that those sounds, all the temperatures reset, but BRM, it's to do with heat. It basically ensures or removes residual heat from the engine, and it always takes longer at the next sector. The first flight of the day as quick as this,
Please set parking brakes.
but the next sectors is always a little bit longer.
Waiting your confirmation.
I
for
wish it
good
was as quick as this
engine
every time. But Pilot Henrik, yeah, quick for the normal for the first start, but too long for when it's warm already. Perfect. That sound. Starter cut out. Origin number 2, 2573. Starting engine number 1. Just going to get rid of GSX, guys. You'd usually wait until 2 good starts.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Yeah, this tablet's good. It's better than nothing, but the usability of the one from the Phoenix, for example, is so much nicer. I prefer something like that in time. Now there's motoring again. This is the first time we've done 2 sectors with the aircraft as well. See how it performs. Great to see so many people watching as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Live time, live weather, second sector from Salzburg to Wroclaw, starting the engines. Oh, we've got some guys. We've got some friends in chat. We've got Pilot Henrik and Fly Dylan friends. There we are.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Perfect.
Left is clear.
Oh, where
right
are
is
we?
clear.
Great sounds. Interesting flight, isn't it? Awesome, 2 good starts. Let's now do there's the pin before taxi flow. Doesn't make as much as a clunk as that in reality, but that sounds very mechanical. But there we are. Flaps to 5. Flight controls. Forward, back, left, right. Rudders, right and left. Recall, blank, or reduce the expanded display, and then we'd read the before taxi checklist.
Gevangen 8 and the first level could have pushback.
So we'll request taxi, and then he knows we're ready, we'll just go up behind this guy. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, request taxi.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, standby.
Perfect. So just got that traffic pushing. Unfortunately, it's not designed, this sort of apron, for sort of this sort of traffic. They probably face certain aircraft in certain directions to go the long way around, but yeah, we're lucky to get away there.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, are you able for 180 to then taxi right exit 4?
Yeah, we could do that. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, not in reality, but
Much appreciated. Right turn, exit 4 and Lima, Honeycomb Bravo, runway 15.
180 turn, exit 4 Lima, and the whole short runway 15, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. So I would do this in reality if they got me a marshaller, because you're sort of having to go.
Alpaca 2 Hotel, Honeycomb Bravo 15, exit 3.
So you see here, when we're doing tight turns, you only add thrust on the outboard engine, because the thrust on the inboard engine is actually working against you. That is a fantastic turning circle they've done here. Really nice. It taxis really well. Look, it's got good inertia, and this is great. If I had thrust on the inboard engine, it will actually be against us. Oh, Joe, look at those! Look at those mountains. We should be hopefully not too far off the centre line.
Alpaca 1 and 75 pushing for approved.
And then we can now add a little bit of thrust on the inboard engine. Then we're at the
Yes,
max when it gets moving, go to idle.
Push and start approved.
Yeah, that does taxi a little bit better than the PMDG, but it's still a bit jerky. But if someone could leave in the comment section after this video how to, because my rudder is very sensitive, I'm only putting it a little bit in and it's turning loads. I don't know again if that's a
Lima Papa, your startup is approved for you. It will be a clockwise taxi out. So come for the taxi.
Oh, this is going to be a fantastic sunset, guys. Oops, I forgot to set 6,000 feet there. And isn't this where they keep the Red Bull, all the Red Bull aircraft, like the DC-6 and things like that? Look at that. Flight deck to ballet. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. Yeah, you see, look, I'm barely touching the rudder and it's wee. I don't know if that's a Microsoft Flight Sim thing or an aircraft thing. If someone could leave a comment section how to fix it, that would be great. I'm basically a tiny bit of rudder on my input. I'm like, whoa, big turn. Right, before takeoff checklist. So config, I don't think we checked it, but there we are. No config warning horn, spool up's too quick. Flaps, we have 5 green lights. Stab trim set for departure, 5.5 units is set. Takeoff briefing, backs order bleeds on. V-speed set, 36, 37, 46 on the MCP. The departure is the in-ROM 1 Bravo. Now, because of the nature of this departure, we actually have to fly it initially in heading select, and if the engine then fails, we select LNAV. Sorry, I said that wrong. We use heading select initially. If we have no engine failure, we can select LNAV at 400 feet. If we do have an engine failure, we've got to climb straight ahead 1.4 DME, right turn 168 to 1.9 DME, left turn inbound Sierra India, then Sierra Bravo Golf to climb to 6,000. And that's in the event of engine failure. So that's reviewed. Cabin will imagine secure. Checks complete. Joel D, thank you very much for your support. Welcome aboard as a member, buddy. Glad you enjoy the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy the custom emojis in chat as well. Thank you, bud. Look at that, I've not added any thrust and it's just slowly accelerating. 21, 22, they've got this nailed. They've got this nailed, this absolute residual thrust. Oh, that's a point. I might need to... Actually, let me just check the real OPT. Did I have to backtrack? Or was that full length? Uh-oh. Just gotta check the real OPT if I can take Bravo.
Please repeat the read back. I'm sorry, runner 527.
So we can go via Bravo, but I've got to get rid of this shooting temperature. But we didn't put in, so we don't need to actually backtrack. Excellent. Oh yeah, I've heard about this Aerosoft A330. I did get a key for it. It sounds like I'm not going to be using it. Not great. Oh, fasten belts off. Well, I was just testing you guys. Well done.
I'm so Austin, Boeing.
I think this guy's trolling. That might not be, I don't know. Shouting down the microphone. Right, there's Lieber. Perfect. Good. Right, parking brake sets. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, holding short, Bravo, runway 15, ready for departure, no backtrack required.
Station calling before Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo again.
Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, holding short, Bravo, runway 15, ready for departure, no backtrack required.
Yes, I said station before Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, say again.
I just heard Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, say again.
Okay, holding for Bravo 15, why?
Yeah, but it wasn't the best communication, really. I just heard call sign, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo, station before Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. I know, I got told off. So what am I waiting for? Sorry, say again, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo?
Line up Bravo 15.
Via Bravo, line up and wait runway 15, Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. God, there's a million miles there, right. Clear to line up and wait only. Oh yes, the lights look good. So, MCP. Oh no, we don't want heading select anyway, so that's set. Transponder. TARA. Strobe lights are on. Wait for takeoff clearance.
Approaching. 1.
I know, I'm in the bad books, aren't I? I just heard something to Whiskey Romeo say again, not person board.
I'll come on and show how
Two stations.
That's not helpful.
Alpaca 2
On runway. 1.
Excellent lineup. Yeah, lines up much nicer.
Runway 357 requesting startup.
There's some limitations in taxiing Microsoft Flight Simulator. This taxis very well. Yep, does have RAS. Very cool, isn't it?
Startup of group.
Yeah, I can't quite. They're a bit brighter PMD. I can't quite tell because there's enough too much light outside. But we'll see in Wroclaw.
I can give it to you within 7
Don't hit that train. What train? I can still see that 777 tail. 015 cleared takeoff, lot 2 Whiskey Romeo. Right, cleared takeoff. Taxi lights on. Let's go back home to Wroclaw. 40%. Whee! With the engines though. A little bit more. 40% stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. So interestingly, heading select doesn't come up when you push toga. Takeoff thrust set indications and all that's about as high as M1 you can get in the leap. 80 knots checked. V1 rotates. It's a nice rotation. Oh, it's really good. I was ready to climb, gear up. Waiting for 400 feet. Oh. See why I have that special engine outsteered. LNAV. Very nice. Can't remember if it's any DP2 or 1. Let's go with 1. Look at that. Fantastic. There's climbing 1. Left turn.
Unreadable, only static.
Perfect. The flight director commands are really, really good.
Salzburg, so we'll expect 5 Sierra Romeo.
Shout down the radio, don't they? Right, let's turn that down. Right, bug up. Perfect. Flaps 1.
Negative, last station was for lot 2 Whiskey Romeo.
Unicom, lot 2 Whiskey Romeo.
Look, correct, look under 5 Romeo.
I don't like. I'm just sorry. I was too busy looking at the. I was too busy looking at the stall speed. The stall speed's very high in the turn there. It's overshot slightly. But that's probably. I'm just going to go to Unicom. I don't want to upset that controller anymore. Yeah, the G loading is good. The fact that that's modelled. Just levelling off at 6,000 feet here, we're going 220 knots. You see why we wanted to part off the other runway, because of the terrain. But yeah, when I was turning there, I was only about 10 knots off my stall speed, so they need to look at how the G loading works. Because look, if I'm just going to pitch up on purpose. Watch the G loading. So I'm just going to do a little descent and now pitch up. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. The stall speed increases a little bit too much based off that G loading. Anyway, let's engage the autopilot. There we are. Command A. Yeah, it's a joy to hand fly. It hand flies really well in the sim. Just going to turn the sim down here, guys. Really impressed with the handling. It feels really nice. Right, there's no ATC left now. We'll now climb to our cruise level 330. That's set. VNAV. Oops. VNAV. Set standard. Passing 6-4 flight level 330 after takeoff checklist. So gears up. The engine spool up time there is way too fast as well. It doesn't go up as quick as that when you go into N1. Right, anyway, off, and auto brake off, no gear off, and start switches off. Air conditioning and pressurization, diff pressure, 1.8 climbing, set, release the crew. Oh, look at the sun coming in, fantastic. Standard set, passing 7-7 flight level 330 after takeoff checklist complete. Oops. There we go. Flight, there's been one update, I think, to allow the charts to be compatible, but I was having issues with the charts earlier not coming in. I'm not a fan of that tablet, if I'm honest. Cool. So we're on the SID, look, routing direct to INROM, which we're approaching now. When we get to INROM, it'll command a turn en route to Simba. Welcome, Sulman, hope you're doing well. There we are, standard set, passing 100 flight level 330. Let's do the pre-cruise checks. So fuel, 4 pumps, lights, logo, there's off, APU is off, pressurization 3.0, still climbing, set, release the passengers, recall, checks complete. Pilot Henrik noticed every single turn it overshoots a little and have to correct by flying an S even at very slight turns. Now, in defence to Flight 1 and iFly, that first turn on the SID is quite tight, and the real aircraft can only bank in LNAV up to 30 degrees, and it's quite common on SIDs. That's why you have to keep your speed back restricted, sort of less than 220 knots for it, the real aircraft to overshoot. So look, in this instance here, because it's a lot, the flyover waypoint's a lot smoother, it's actually nailing the turn. So Pilot Henrik, it's actually quite realistic in the way it overshoots those tighter turns on SIDs, because it's exactly what happens in the real aircraft as well. But it actually manages turns really well en route. It's very nice. Yes, Patricia, we do have RES. Let's have a look, Pilot Henrik, if it'll overshoot then. It looks like it's doing a really good job. In fact, it's turned inside slightly, 0.1 miles, but no, that's the real aircraft on SIDs. If you're going a bit fast or have tighter turns, it will overshoot slightly. There you go, this one was great. Oh, Pilot Henrik, well, it's normal. I wouldn't feed that back because the real aircraft does overshoot tight turns on SIDs, and it has to do an S turn. Plane, yes, a good point. Would you release the passenger during a turn? Not a tight turn on a SID, but yeah, here you won't really notice anything. So our ETA, 17:15, just about 45 minutes. Lovely, 2 sector days. I love doing these 50-minute to hour sectors, just right. Keep streaming around about 3.5 hours. Great. Super fluff simulations. Do the panels pop out? No. Tune the Salzburg VOR, might as well. Oh, that's actually not tuned in. 13.8. Don't think this... No, this isn't compatible with the radio tuning panel, unfortunately. The sounds are really good. Look out there. That's superb, isn't it? Look at that. Our flights are on. Our flight in there, it was actually really good. With VNAV, this will be a good test again because we're going to do a non-precision approach, so we'll see if VNAV path follows the descent path accurately. But it's a really, really good add-on. Look at that. Beautiful. Guys, I don't know when it will be released at all. I just know that they've released pricing information, $70. Is reasonable for the quality of the aircraft you're going to get. I miss Alpaca Airways. Oh. Yeah, I think price is fair. But no overshooting on the turn there. Looks good. We don't have a flushing toilet though. Oh my god, what's going on out there? That's a colour I can confirm I have never seen in 7,000 hours of flying. What on earth? It's like I've ran something over. That is very interesting colours. That's unusual. I thought the lighting in the sim was always very good. That is apocalyptic orange. Chernobyl, what a bit of Tatooine. That has never seen. I've never seen that colour or any sort of light refraction. Or a sandstorm, yeah. That looks like blood red now. Ooh, is that going purple? I've got some chinos that colour. Yeah, very weird. Volcanic ash. Volcanic ash clouds. No memory items, but immediately 180-degree turn, settle our altitude, level change, close the thrust levers, disconnect the order throttle, mayday, increase demand, and then you might have to go to lossless thrust on both engines. Not a nice day in the office. Yeah, it's not a real colour, and we're still in this. I've never seen it before. Usually you have that light, you can see that off the wingtips. So you sort of tell you're in low visibility. I'll be above it soon, we're going up to 33,000 feet. Yeah, now that is like Mars. That's weird. It's just probably sunset in the cloud with an update or something, I don't know. Oh, we're talking about chinos. I am a chino fan, Andrea. Wear them at work. Smart. Wear them to go out. It's cool. Although I'm wearing jeans today. iFly Falcon X confirmed. I love all the Star Wars references. Yeah, I've got my soundboard.
Roger, roger.
I love it. I just haven't had much opportunity to use it today. Trizzy, when you're flying the real thing, do you ever get nervous flying a bunch of people? No, you don't really. No disrespect to passengers, but you just don't think about them. You know, you just think about the flight itself. You think about them in a way of doing nice PAs and whatnot, but I never think, you know, I'm responsible for the lives of, you know, almost 200 people. But you just get on with your job. How are we going to be in this chino-coloured cloud? Looks like I can see a bit of cloud up there. V-Sky check, what's your EGT? Yeah, that looks normal. 780, 800 in the climb. That's completely normal. Are you guys noticing the improved performance anyway in my sim? It was a little bit laggy in Salzburg. I think that was a combination of the third-party scenery, VATSIM traffic, but en route it's really smooth. What am I hitting right now according to Fly Live? 42 FPS. But certainly the tweaks I've made have made it a bit smoother. Seb, do you have any tips for airline interviews? But it's been 13 years since I had my only airline interview. Just learn about the company, know about the company you're applying for. Refresh your EPWR school knowledge. In your sim check, they're not just looking at your flying ability, they're looking at your CRM. How do you work as in a team? You're not cool, go around if you're unstable, things like this. That's what we're looking at. Oh, don't tell me we're in this burgundy coloured cloud all the way up here. Looks like we're nearly up above it. I've never seen this colour. Hey, it's pretty, but not very realistic. Turn the clock off now. It's the best thing about the Max. You never have to forget about the timer again. As soon as you get airborne, it automatically starts one. Oh yeah, I've had the Jim's had his VSD on the whole sector as well. Correct, usually TREs, yeah, it'll be a TRE that conducts it, but it's a sort of, I don't, as a TRE, conduct interviews. There'll be some additional training that's required to conduct those. Tom, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give to those who aspire to be a pilot with a cost in the UK now? Well, you know, first things first, regardless of cost, get your Class 1 medical done. Just so you can rule out anything that could potentially impact you getting a medical in the future. Cost-wise, I had to convince my family that I was going to work hard because we didn't have that sort of money, and we at the time then it was around for integrated ATPL frozen full-time course about 75,000. What is it now? Over 100, isn't it? They had to get a loan to be secured against the house. Just work hard. Get a part-time job. If you're 16, 17, get a part-time job. Don't just sit on your backside. Everyone, VNAV path. It's probably because I've got 3-1 here. Oh yes, that was correct. So cruise now 310 set 3 times. Yeah, get yourself a part-time job. Everyone knows where I worked. As a bit of banter, and you learn basic skills such as teamwork, some responsibilities as well, and yeah, I understand it's very, the cost of it is very off-putting and puts out of a lot of people, which is a shame, but there are a lot of airlines doing funded courses. I believe now BA is one of them, probably a few others I'm unaware of as well. So yeah, it's 120 grand for integrated and 80k now for modular. Wow. 26 ATPLs for dual license. I'm very lucky Hulkbogan that I obviously, when I finished, it was only ARSA and then Brexit happened. I got a license transfer prior to the deadline, so I am dual licensed now. I have an EASA license for undisclosed European country and a UK CAA license, and I'm dual rated on the 7.3. I'm TRE on the EASA. I've just got my TRI transfer completed. I had to do an additional TRI exam on the UK license. In time that will become a TRE as well. But yeah, it's complicated. Oh, Tim remembers the spilling the fat story. Yes, I'm constantly reminded by some of my friends. Well, our Crimson... Oh, we can actually see the ground. It's like a very thin, hazy... Oh, there you go. It's all about it now. What's the outside temperature? Can I turn the engine on to myself? Well, minus 43, yeah, just about. So cow valve lights, and this can come off here. Great. Just turn the lighting down on the screens now. Oh, that's really nice. See if the dome light's really bright. Yeah, that's great. Lighting in the cabin is excellent, and the cockpit. Cool. So, wow, there's a lot of ATC online at the moment, but we've not had any ding dongs. I think they're all. I think there's a number of events going on. Let's start setting up for our approach into Wroclaw. We'll get the weather first. Wroclaw weather. Look at this evening. 1808, cav OK, 17 degrees. So they probably might not be landing on 11 tonight. They'll probably use 29, but we'll plan for 11 because we want to plan a non-precision approach here. So approach RMP 11. We'll do it via Whiskey Romeo 604, but we want to plan a shortcut to Whiskey Romeo 603 perhaps. We can't do that if it's the FAF. No, Whiskey Romeo 601 is. So first things first, let's see how it plans shortcuts. See if that works as per the real aircraft. So 240 below 100. Let's fetch the winds. Shame you can't put your QNH in here. Thanks, System In, for grabbing the weather. Load. Execute. Temperature 17 degrees. Same up here, so +2 on the ISA. Fix rings in for runway runway 11. Get rid of Salzburg, we don't need it. So /93 for top of descent. VMC. So we'll put in a 4-mile ring. Might configure a little bit sooner. So let's have a look at this arrival. So you'll have seen this several times. We always plan for shortcuts, especially at airports like Wroclaw, where it can be quite quiet. So our arrival is going to bring us in via Dinov, which is our second waypoint after Lager. Let's put this into position so we can see everything. Dinov 642. Oh, yeah, here's a bug. Someone send that to the devs in Discord. Take a screenshot. Whiskey Romeo 642. Whiskey Romeo 642, max 220, it's coded. Why is it saying it at Obovi 240? That's a bug. It should say it should show 220. It doesn't go back up again after you've passed the speed restriction. So that's a bug. Should be 220 there as well. So what we're going to plan is a shortcut from Whiskey Romeo to 632 direct to Whiskey Romeo 603. Because at the moment at Whiskey Romeo 632 it's showing us at 8,100 feet, which seems realistic because you know, it's planning to take a left turn and do a 180 degree here, but we're going to plan a shortcut. So what we can temporarily do is after Whiskey Romeo 603, put that after 632. Another issue has been identified, guys, and this is a big one. What should happen? You tell me, guys. What should happen to this 81 at Whiskey Romeo 632 when I put 603 on top? So if I put Whiskey Romeo 603 here. If I go to nav, you imagine I'm planning this look. Shortcut,
50,
like this,
40,
on nav blue.
30.
What should happen when I put Whiskey Romeo 632 to Whiskey Romeo 603? And thank you to whoever that is. Mark Jackson, thank you.
Isn't the overhead panel lighting more of a darker orange than the yellow which is in the PMDG and this?
No, I'd say that's pretty spot on. I've not really noticed what the PMDG one is like. And I've just realised that cab utility and IFE passenger seats have all been off the whole flight. Not good for the passengers. No, it looks pretty good to me, Mark. I don't really pay much attention to that, but haven't seen it. Thanks for your donation though, Mark, but I think that looks good to me. Maybe it's a bit whiter. I really don't pay attention to that. Yeah, so the bug is, exactly, you've got it there, Marcus Drexel. That should now be lower, and you can see it's planned it, but why is it still saying, okay, maybe let's just see what happens if I execute it. Yeah, okay, so it has updated after executing, but we don't do that because what happens if we have to fly the full arrival? But that is now correct. That should happen prior, that 4930 should happen prior to executing the route. So we're going to reinsert the arrival. We'll remember that figure, 4,900. Let's put the star back in, execute, no problem. And we're going to put it 632, 4,900. That should happen prior to executing though. Whiskey Romeo 632, 4,900. The only thing we're going to have to change ourselves is this bug, which should show 220. Unable next altitude. That shouldn't happen. Or is it because of a higher restriction before? Oh, actually that's a bug as well. Huh. That shouldn't have accepted that. If it says 6,000 feet, it would say unable. So that's another bug we've identified. You shouldn't be able to insert a lower than higher altitude. It would have gone unable due to constraint at Whiskey Romeo 631 because it won't climb back up. So that's another bug we've discovered, and this is great. You know, this is not to penalise and say that they've done a bad job. This is to help improve this product. So this is an issue here. But yeah, PMDG models this better. It works quite well when deleting those constraints. Now we shouldn't do that because it is a constraint that's keeping us at or above. But I am going to temporarily delete that. Actually delete that. But yeah, look, it's gone back up to 240. Shouldn't do that. Okay. Good, okay. So we've planned for the shortcut anyway. What's this now message? Reset. We're already at top of descent, guys. I'm still briefing. Oops. Let's go down. What's the first... oops, I'm drawing things on my chart. Constraint. It is 6,000. Let's just go down to something like flight level 80 to start with. Now let's just see what happens at top of descent to make sure it behaves itself appropriately. Unless I'm doing something silly, surely I'm thinking, you know, I've just turned the main panel lighting down. I think the back lighting here should turn down as well. So you see I've turned the main panel lighting off. Right, main panel lighting's off. This should be dimmer. Right. This is interesting. It did this on the first stream. So past top of descent, it's initiated to descent. Oh, that's because I knocked the control column. That should disconnect the autopilot with our logic. It's sort of gone down in FMC speed. It should go retard arm and then straight into an idle path descent, which I think it eventually does. But it should do it straight away. Should have bank angle to 10, but never mind. So top of descent, ladies and gentlemen. Down we go. There we go. Now it's going retard arm, so it's just done it a bit late. Right, let's carry on with this arrival. RMP11 then. We're going in via Whiskey Romeo 604, or 603 with that shortcut. So, course is a 111. And 111. And minimums, we can't take LPV minima. I think that's integrated approach navigation. Don't use that on my operator. But we can take LNAV VNAV minima. 730, and because this is a DA, we don't need to make any corrections on the altitude, so we'll call that 730 on the minimums. So preset 730. Hold this down. Oh, it does go in 10-foot increments. I've actually modelled it correctly.
40, 30,
when you actually hold it down. Mark Jackson, thank you again.
10.
Another generous donation of £5. Thanks, sir. How could I help?
I noticed the strobe lights are more slower than on the M.
On the what? On the NG. I think it tried to say NG. Thank you very much. Yes, that is correct. So you see how the strobe lights are flashing here? That is as per the real Max. So if you have a look at a YouTube video on the Max as well, use strobe lights introduced there. But thank you very much again for another generous donation. The clouds do look good. Now we've got rid of that awful crimson purple, it looks much better. Cool. Oops, why is my... Oh, my fault view numbers stopped working. There we are. Good, back onto the briefing then. So the final approach fix is Whiskey Romeo 601. We'll make our descent point Whiskey Romeo 602 just before the FAF because it's 1.5 miles before. So 2 miles before Whiskey Romeo 602, we'll set 800 feet on the MCP, LNAV, VNAV. There's no nav age to tune. MSA highest to the southwest, so we'll keep to the north. RVR required is 1100 meters. We've briefed the star. We know what modes we'll use, LNAV, VNAV. Landing at the gates, 500 feet today. Missed approach, climb straight ahead to 3,000 feet, and as directed. Nice and simple, guys. Cool. Problem is landing on runway 11. You've got to vacate and have a very long taxi back. So sometimes it's preferable to land on 29, vacate Charlie, then you're straight onto stand. But we'll do 11 for training or demonstration of RNAV approach, and we'll have to go to the end. So we've already looked at the performance calculator. We obviously input it every single sector. 400 kilos to burn, 64.7. We're going to go flap 30, and let's now punch in the figures here. Ooh, it's very dark. So performance still has the landing from the previous one. En route. Echo, Papa, Whiskey Romeo. Let's just make sure VNAV's doing its thing. Yeah, the idle path descent, once established, is pretty good. Cool. Runway 11 is dry. Use 0 wind for to be conservative. Temperature is... let's have a look here. 17 degrees. QNH1004, which I'll preset here. Reverse, I can only go all up with my settings. We'll try 530. Air conditioning on, sorry. Anti-ice off, water brake, let's try 3. Non-normal, none. Landing weight 64.7. Calculate. Why can't I calculate? Non-normal, none. Okay, so we've got 1875 required. 2503 available. Let's try order brake 2. These are unfactored, I think. 2211. There we are. We've got to go. We've got to get off at the end anyway, guys. So we might as well use order brake 2, and that reverse resetting. Good. Set is complete. Both beacon and strobes are slow on the max, I believe. Yes, that is the case, Skittish, from what I've seen. Surely this is the golden age of flight sim. I believe so, King Crimson. You haven't had it any better at any point ever. Let's see how it deals this non-precision approach. Mark, again. Mark, no need at all to keep donating. I do my best to keep looking at the comments. Thank you again, though, sir. Very kind.
How would you set the lighting at night in the flight deck?
Very good.
Do you ever have any lighting on full?
It depends how romantic we're feeling, Mark. No, I'm joking. So, something like this, basically. So, main panel, we're sort of down a bit like this. Turn the screens down halfway. Background, not like that. I have it about like that. To be fair, you probably turn it up a little bit more to get that, but something like that. Something like that. Maybe one less. There we go. The dome light you don't want to turn on. It's that, and it's really bright. That lighting's very, very good. Does the jump seat work? Ooh! That, ladies and gentlemen, is the 737 jump seat. Oh wow! So cool! Oh, that modelling is wonderful. It isn't quite that material though. It's horrible to sit on. Not as bad as this. That is what you're. That's actually too generous. There's nothing like that on the real aircraft. Yeah, that jump seat is very well modelled, but it is like sitting on a church pew. It's incredibly well modelled though. Oh, it works in the PMDG, does it? I've just never played with it. How do I put it away? No, I'm stuck here with Jim forever. Oh dear, should be flying the plane. There's traffic ahead. And the bathroom flushes, does it? Is that an update? Because it didn't flush when I last tried it. How do I actually? Yeah, you can trap your fingers in there. It's painful. Yeah, HA39. That's an accurate description. I can't get the jump seat away, but never mind. We're trapped. Seatbelts coming on. Replay, please. Mood is changing. People are getting impatient. All the streamers are flying the max. The release hasn't been in sight for days. I wouldn't obviously be able to tell you if I didn't know, but I don't know anything about any release at all. I promise. Well, we've not done a cabin tour today, but I'm sure most of you are aware the cabin is incredibly. Oh, I am genuinely stuck now. Can I open the door at least? Oh, get me out of here. Thanks, Jim. Oh, look, it's actually a lot. Oh, it's lot modelled. Oh, very cool. This is one of the included liveries. Oh, very nice. Do they have screens? No. They've got a copy of Kaleidoscope. Must be Lots Airline. Lots Magazine. Oh, look. The people in first class have a screen. Let's click. Oh, very nice. Oh dear, oh dear. Can I just change the cabin lighting? That's how it works in the real plane. There it is. Boarding music. Maintenance manual. Is that it? I wanted to change the cabin lighting. Never mind. Very cool. Dream Boy, yes, I know you can open all the windows. Did that last stream. Oh, Lauren, is it mostly all economy on the lot of aircraft these days? Ah, okay. You're most welcome, Mark. Thank you for your generous donations today. Very kind. Very kind, sir. It's on the lower flight attendant. Where am I? 12,000 feet. I've got just about enough time to play. Was it? Ah. This one. Thank you. So this is some fancy lot thing. Something's clicking. Oh, I somehow magically put the jump seat away by clicking my mouse. So night sleep lighting. Is it on that already? Do I have to execute it? I don't work this. Off. Oh, it's changing. Oh, is it? No, I don't know if it is. Oh, I'm confused. It is cool if I just turn them all off. Oh! How? You have to select the zone after picking your mode. Okay, so I want both zones. Ah, okay, thank you. Oh, that is dark. Thank you. So cruise both zones. Oh, I've really got to go fly this plane, guys. Ah, I see. Right, off. No, cruise. I can't select cruise. Let's go white, medium, both zones. Very cool. Very, very good. Right. I better do some work. So it's reached the decel point for 240 below flight level 100. Approaching Dinov. There is only some traffic here, but it looks like they're taking a shortcut, which is fine. There is Warsaw approach, but I think we're outside their catchment area. Let's do the post-cruise checks. So, fuel 4 pumps, we have 3.4 on board. Lights, logo can come on as it's night. Angular bank set to 25 degrees. Pressurization 3.5 set. Belts on, recall. Checks complete. Don't forget the flight deck door, that's a good point. Oh, that's right. Jim's twin brother Jack is here, so that's the dog, to make sure no one comes in. Now I've turned off the wig-wag mode, so I've only got regular landing lights now. So, we are progressing well. Just started on the arrival. There's Dinov. 220 knots is next. The aircraft did a really good job decelerating to 240 or below. Let's see how it deals with the 220 knot restriction. Oh yeah, the dome light's still on here. That's bright. Thank you. That's more realistic. Yeah, that looks great. Can you see? Look. There's a bit of humidity in the air. There's a little bit of the light illuminating on the mist. That's so cool, and you can sort of see that looking forward. Really realistic. Right, we'll step down now to 6,000 feet. 6,000 feet set. Let's set the QNH. Now this will change, unfortunately. The path, because you can't insert the QNH anywhere, but we are below path, so that's going to help with the energy. Domino Mosina is ready for some max action. So there we are. FMC speed happens as soon as it gets low on speed. I don't know if that's an option in their tablet. In our aircraft it's 15 knots below target speed before FMC speed engages, but you can add thrust manually or open the speed window and it will... Actually, let's just check this. If I open the speed window, it should stay in path. Yeah, so they have common VNAV, which is good. So it's staying in path. Oh, full flap simulation. It's 7 knots at my operator. Ah, okay. So there is an option here. It seems to be instant, which is quite safe, to be fair. It's an option in the PMDG. There you go. So I have to sometimes be careful because this, since I've learned having this channel, there's so many different 737 operators and the way that the aircraft's modelled. Flyman, yeah, the rounded display you can have. Obviously got the compacted fuel display. I've got this set up as close as I can to my operator.
22 hotel, 10 miles from your Realm 603, we'll call final for 1-1.
Welcome aboard there, Centrino LP. Thanks for a lot for subscribing. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you so would after the stream if there's anything you'd like me to cover in a video on the Max. I'm probably going to do a full flight. My streams sort of work as tutorials as well, especially on the. I'd always with a new aircraft like to do a simple flight from A to B offline, and people can refer to that if they so wish. But if there's anything unique to the Max you'd like me to cover, let me know. Good. Alright, there is traffic there, and he's going to be a Beamus more than 10 miles ahead, so we'll plan for this shortcut, which is what we've allowed in the FMC. So hopefully if we go direct to Whiskey Romeo 603, we should be pretty much on path, because we've planned for it. Execute. Looking good. It's actually gotten rid of the 220 knot speed restriction, which you shouldn't do, so I'm just going to put VNAV, target speed 220, execute. Yeah, that's good, well done, but it hasn't really changed the path. Let's now step down to 3,000 feet. VNAV. Now we're going to stay on VNAV for the whole approach now, see how it flies. Base training, really like MCAS. V-Sky check, I think there's an option of integrated approach navigation. Mike would like a sort of differences conversion. Okay. Key M1 and pitch values, do that in 10 seconds, or 5. Pitch is about the same for all intents and purposes. The M1 just takes 7% off everything. It's rough and ready, but it works. Good, so next is decel. We've got that to be at... oh, interesting. Oh, look now. Look at this, guys. It is beginning to bring the speed back. It didn't do that on the approach into Salzburg, nor did it have it earlier. So now it's actually coding an appropriate reduction in speed. Interesting. VNAV is being weird, said Fighter. In what way? It looks pretty good to me. It wasn't on the first flight, but this looks good. Full flap, you have a variation of common VNAV, but opening the speed window will allow VNAV speed. Ah, so full flap simulations on our fleet with common VNAV, regardless of where you are, cruise, descent. If you open the speed window, we always, if you're on path, it always now stays in path. Always now stays in path with our logic. It used to be that it'd go to VNAV speed. SB 2008 all part of raw data. We're just testing an MPA today, but we'll do some raw data flying. Now that's good. Look, idle thrust, clean. That drag model's pretty good. Holding the speed. We need to go flat 1. That was fantastic. But watch what happens as soon as I go flat 1. Look at the speed coming back. That does not happen. There's very little drag with flat 1. Very little drag. Flap 5. And the flaps extend very quickly. I'm trying to think now. Is it as fast as that? No. It's flap 5. And yeah, we sort of leveled off okay. Fair enough. Next altitude 1,700 feet. Stepping down 1 mile before. That traffic is nice and far ahead. Rush left traffic, lot 2 Whiskey Romeos, turning final runway 11, 10 miles. Yep, you're correct, Margaret Tucanard, the flaps are too draggy, absolutely. Much slippier in the real aircraft with flaps. Flaps 1 through to about 10, or 1 to 5 are really just wanting you to slow down, they don't add a huge amount of drag, whereas 15 to 25 is more drag, 30, 40 very draggy. Good, so next thing will be 2 miles before Whiskey Romeo 602, which we've nominated as our descent point. We flew here in an Airbus, if I remember rightly. Seems to have rolled out a little bit right of centerline. So this is a slightly different VNAV logic. I think this is like a geometric path option. So now it's sort of going to start descending on the correct path now. But it's rolled. It's putting me right of centerline. Look at that. Should be sort of a dead straight line. It could be the way those waypoints are sequenced. But you can see, look, we've got a lot of thrust up here to maintain the speed. That wouldn't be the case usually. Well, we've got a bit of a head. Oh wow, nice stonking crosswind up here.
Wroclaw traffic up back at 22 Hotel, 3 miles, runway 11.
2,500.
So as our approaching descent point, 800 feet. VNAV path speed into vent. Definitely got the right QNH set today. Had that issue on our first stream. I know I had the scenery for it, Wroclaw. That's what Don't know seen it as well. I went for Wroclaw. Good. So we're progressing well. Next thing is Whiskey Romeo 602, then the FAF at Whiskey Romeo 601. But when we pass 602, which is shortly, we'll start configuring. Showing 3 whites at the moment. Hopefully it will start descending a little bit quicker past Whiskey Romeo 602. Yeah, so SB 2008, that's a common question here. We do not have integrated approach navigation at my operator. I think that's what that's referring. We use LNAV and MeNav. Right, there we are. So let's go. Gear down. Flap 15. Match speed. Landing checklist. Start switches continuous. Recall checked. Speed brake. Oh, I can't get this speed brake out. There we are. No, it's extended. Arm green light. Landing gear down. There's the FAF coming up. Let's go flap 25. So FAF needs to be at 1700 feet. No flags. Checks no flags. And speed below 175 flap 30. Looking good. Just do one quick height check if we can. Distance of 3 miles 1420. 3 miles distance 1420. You are great, iFly. A bit low, but that can be normal on these approaches. Missed approach altitude 3000 feet is set, and it's in approach logic. It has not leveled off. This is a 10 out of 10 NPA. Well done to the devs. Flaps 30 green light, lights on, checks complete.
Approaching.
RAS as well. Disconnect the auto throttle, about 52% at this gross weight in the max. Water pipe disconnected. It shouldn't have pitched down like that. And we will recycle the flight directors because it put us on 3 reds. That's quite common on MPAs if it's a bit warmer than ISA.
500.
So just getting that speed back up. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo short, final runway 11.
400. Approaching minimum.
It's about 1 degree, and about once I get the speed under control, it's about 52%.
Minimum.
A little bit
300.
right of centre line. What's the wind doing in the sim? Keep descending, 3 whites. Oops, bit of a high rate of descent there. Let's look at the lights. Yeah, the lights look really good here.
50, 40,
Oops.
30, 20, 10.
Butter. Speed brakes up. Reverses gently lower the nose. Oh, I've run over something. Oh, lovely. That was fantastic. This is a superb add-on. 100 knots. Manual braking because I've got to get to the end. Cancelling reverse. Unfortunately, I can only cancel and stow. They stowed a bit too quick there. But I need to roll to the end. That was a butter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wroclaw. We'll just let it roll now because we've got to go all the way to the end.
300 meters.
There's the answer.
Remaining.
Very good. 300 meters. Solid red lights. Coming up.
100 remaining.
Very good. The voice is a bit different, but we'll take it. Oh, those sounds are excellent. Well done. Well done to the guys. This is really good. You've got a fantastic... When this is released... Oh, superb. Flaps coming up. Sorry, no replay. I request a panel state so I can do my replays. There we go. Oh, I can hear my own voice. Lovely. Lot 2 Whiskey Romeo vacated runway 11. Right, let's do the cleanup then. 2 sectors done. It was fantastic. Just a few little things, quirks with the FMC, which is hard to model, but overall, another 9.5 out of 10 flight. Really, really impressed, guys. Superb. Right, make sure I left turn here. It's the Microsoft Flight Sim braking. Keep adding thrust because I'm so used to it in the sim, but we shouldn't need it. These lights can come off. Taxi light. Yeah, the lighting is very good. This is how it should look at night. I don't know how they've done all this. And so much obscurity about it. You know, just said, oh, we're releasing this aircraft. I'd heard of them in P3D, but I always thought they were sort of, you know, it was a light version of the 737. This is a full-on hardcore, very well modelled Max. You know, it's really good. Very good. We'll park where we started the stream as well. Yeah, the sim was solid today as well. No issues. Really happy. SB2000, nice to see you not go to war with the... What are you on about? Bit sensitive. Okay. I had to put my hands up. I was above 30 knots and it thinks I'm taking off. There we are. So I said I'm not yanking at the yoke. Oh, I'm sorry. SB2008. Sorry. That's how I usually fly. I had someone email me saying, I don't think you're a real pilot because I've seen you move the controls too much and that's not how you should do it. This is how you should do it. And I emailed back saying, oh yeah, can you show me a video? And he never did. I'm waiting. The controls here are very light in comparison, so I think sometimes it can look like you are over controlling, but you know, sometimes you have to make quite positive inputs on the controls, especially in inclement conditions. But yes. Anyway, request follow me? No. Let's go lots as we are. Lots. Crank up the APU. Is it study level? Yeah, it's the term is quite generic. You know, is it as good as a real full motion sim? No, it never will be. But it's very good. I followed my operator's SOPs the entire day, and it was able to be applied as realistically as possible. But yeah, the on taxiway started blurring off because my ground speed whilst taxiing was a little excessive. Shut down engine number 2. I actually haven't done any single engine taxi here. Oh, that is like immediately stopped. That shouldn't quite happen. Should roll quite nicely still with even one engine shut down. What's have I forgotten here? I think that's the lighting coming in from the overhead panels. And I have no estimate. I have no idea when it's going to be published, guys. No idea. There is no point asking. Perfect. Oh, stop! Oh, that'll do. 20 centimetres. No one will notice. 2 blues. AP's available. On bus. 1 red. Down we go. We've made it. We'll do the full shutdown flow. Okay. So, requested boarding.
The boarding requested.
Anti-collision light come off. We turn the dome on after we shut down. And yeah, we always make sure the N2 is below 20% before we turn that off. Pumps off. 1 for the APU until we get ground power. That should be off already. Window heat off. Electric hydraulic pumps off, and that's it. That's the shutdown flow complete. Oh yeah, just down here, 2000. Stand by. Perfect. And weather radar. Never turned on because it doesn't work. There we go. Septi, how common are single engine taxis? Very common, especially on the Max. We try and do it on the NG every sector as well, but you've got to be very aware of the inertia of the NG, because it doesn't create as much thrust as the oh, look at the moon in the background as well. It doesn't create as much thrust at idle, but the Max is so much easier to taxi single engine. Pro Pete, thanks for agreeing. I always leave one just to make sure people are paying attention, and that was the one I left, so well done. You win today's prize. Yeah, and the second one I left was Patrick, well done. I forgot to reset 100 knots. Well done. I always leave 2 things behind. Rohit, no replay today. Hopefully at some point we'll have some sort of panel state save, because when you do the replays in Microsoft Flight Sim, most aircraft, if you shut the engines down, they'll be shut down in the replay. You have to actually physically restart them, so you'll notice I often use a panel state save, quickly do a quick start on the engines and then do the replays. But I don't mind sort of ending streams like this. It's with the passengers offloading. I do miss the replay and the replay music, but this works quite well in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Doors open. Let's see. No, so it closes them, but it doesn't open them. Interesting. I can't be asked to go in and open them. Oh, look at the. Oh, look, they're being illuminated by the. Well, what light's that on them? I don't understand. Is that? That's a light we don't have. Well, it's very bright, but I love how it actually illuminates the passengers. It's like, oh, I love it. Typical attire from someone coming in from Salzburg. Now, unfortunately, the doors are not opening. Very good. Just before I sign out, let's see if I can ask any questions. So yeah, unfortunately, no idea on release date. I hope soon, so you guys can start enjoying it as well. But I hope you're enjoying the streams I'm doing in this aircraft. I really enjoyed doing 2 sectors in this today. Made it as realistic as possible, as I always do, following my SOPs. The VNAV descent into Salzburg was excellent. Put me on the ILS beautifully. The hand flying is really good, pitch and power. There's a... Is that Eurowings? Not sure. Flying into here was good. There's just a few quirks with the FMC, but they're really not that bad. The things I'd really like to address is the small up time on the engines. And really... Oh yeah, a new tablet. but really, it's out the box now. It's excellent, so good. You know, you've got to remember this is an entertainment product. As I was saying earlier, you know, it's never going to be perfect, but it's fantastic. You can have a lot of fun with this. Need some funky deboarding music now. I'll keep my cool live chill music on, Rosie there. PAX Skirmish that comes on during the secure checklist, which we'll do. We'll actually do the full secure checklist when all the passengers are off today. Listerman, you've enjoyed the stream. Thanks, buddy, and thanks for all the mods, all the time you take to keep everything tidy and getting links and things like that in chat. Really appreciate it. Paul, will you at some point look at how deep the simulation goes, failures, emergency procedures? Yeah, would you like me to cover that in the stream? I think that will be a fun one to cover those things. Do you have RAS at your operator? We do, Skittish, we do. Butter emojis. It was good landing, wasn't it? It was good landing. I don't know, I'm guessing, New Sky experts, that this aircraft is not yet compatible with New Sky. I've not tried it, so I guess someone has to make a profile for it or something. I'm not sure. Cloud Deaction is speed trim system implemented? I don't think so, because I've not heard it activate at any point. Zebo doesn't have it, PMDG does. Basically the speed trim system, guys, tries to encourage the aircraft to go back to its in-trim speed. Activates usually at high thrust, low gross weights after departure, so not really noticed it. Is that ball lighting? I don't know what that is. What on earth? Oh my goodness me! It's an alien. I have no idea what that is. There must be some weird artifacts from the add-on. I don't know. Crazy. $70 is the price. It's an orb. They're among us. It's an alien. Get rid of it. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Scenery lighting, is it, Zachary? Oh, okay, fair enough. Excellent. Definitely UFO, absolutely. But no, great fun stream again today. Let's oh no, we're going to do the secure checklist, haven't we? So we can't do the secure checklist, guys, until all the passengers are off, which it looks like has just about happened. So let's jump into the cockpit and do that now. So last passenger's off, so let's see, exit lights off, IRS to off. Oops, one thing is we get the ground power on and shut the APU down as well. If there's no ground power, you can still kill the APU. You just then have to wait 1 minute for the APU to shut down, because it takes a minute to shut down, and then another minute for the APU door to close. So we'll do that anyway, but I'll probably just skip the waiting for it to shut down. So that's done, PAX off, trim air off. There's just 2 things left, cutting the AC power, and what am I doing up here? Trim air, that was it. Cutting off the APU and then the battery. So let's try it now, see how realistic this is. Can you actually do the ground service? I don't know if... Oh! Hello. Wasn't expecting anyone there. I just want to try something. Has that button gone back in? So we need to try and hold this down. Right, I'm just going to try something. Ground service. If this is modelled, amazing. No, it's killed the cabin lighting, and yeah, so when you do this, it bypasses the ground service, so all the lighting in the cabin stays. But it might be that the switch went back up, but yeah, that's really good. So that's with loss of AC power, no monitors here. This all seems to be modelled well. Yeah, don't think that engine anti-ice light should be on though. What is this music? Very, very good. Well, hello there. Well, she's going to be staying on the plane. So you can hear her turn the APU off and it's staying on. Takes a minute for it to shut down, so that's accurately modelled. And then we have to wait another minute for the door to close. I wonder if all that's modelled. It'll be interesting to see if it is really good. Yeah, we're skipping this tune. Just wait until the APU shuts down. Just want to see if it's modelled. If it is, it's just another reason to look at this amazing add-on. Was ground service modelled earlier? I don't know. So there's the APU shutting down. Let's time it. So it's 50 seconds. And we have to leave the battery on until this happens, and then for another minute the APU door will close. Really well modelled, guys. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. You're quite right, guys. Jeremy L, what a numpty. Correct. So you need to have the ground power connected. So the ground service won't have worked. So that's completely my fault. Sorry. Yeah. Is it actually modelled? Let's have a little look here. Yeah, there you go. The door closed a bit too soon, or maybe does it close sooner in the Max? I don't know. I'm curious now as to whether the ground service works. So menu. Let's go to system page, ground support, electrics connect set. Right. So you can see that all the nav lights have stayed on. Cabin lighting as well. So now we need to try this. If this is modelled, oh look, I think it could be because look, the lights come on, but we don't have a light on the real. Ours doesn't have a light. So let's quickly go. Okay, ground service trip GPU. Amazing. They've modelled the ground service. So this basically allows you to trip off the power. Look, trip off the battery now. Oh. So if you trip on the battery... Oh no, it's worked! No, it's worked! Look at that! And the nav lights and everything should be on outside. Oh, well done! Well done to the team! That is fantastic! I'm sorry, that's really cool. So look, so basically the battery's off, the aircraft is unpowered, but because the GPU is still connected, it keeps the ground service bus energized, so that allows us to shut the aircraft down. The ground crew have the lights on in here so they can keep offloading the bags, and we can leave the aircraft shut down. Really cool that is modelled. Really superb. There's Alpaca Airways. Oh, this is my airline. Oh, there we go. Anyway, wow, superb. That is working well. So superb work by the devs that's modelled. It just keeps getting better and better. Every stream we do, we keep finding something. But we'll wrap things up for today, guys. Thank you very much for all of you for tuning in, to all the very generous donations that came in as well. To all the members, thank you very much for your continued support. Really appreciate it. And to all the regular viewers and subscribers, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content. We'll be doing some more content in the Max in the coming days and weeks. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Good night from me.
Croker traffic, 5 Sierra Romeo, runway 11 bucket.